Hello.
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 Hey, look, Anthony showed.
Antonio. He's joined.
I just noticed because he has the other reactive.
Yeah.
Hello. How is everybody?
Welcome to our cheese maze.
What?
Where all our
Welcome to
darkest
our
dreams are
cheese.
gonna cheese.
You'll try to eat the walls, but then you realize that's too much cheese. It's like the cheese mountain in America, yeah.
Do we have a
There's the
mountain
real
of cheese?
mountain in America. I mean, it's more like a hole, really.
Oh, okay.
Well, it's like this whole thing where there's so much fucking
Well, yeah,
cheese.
they just said it was a hole. Like a whole thing.
The hole. The point is, there's a hole of cheese because there's so much cheese and no one's really buying it.
I see. Yes.
So they're bringing it back to the earth in order to satisfy our ancient gods.
Understood. I would honestly, I'd do the same.
It probably
You know,
has
it's very good.
There's probably just as much cheese in the hole as there is deepness in order to hide radiation.
Yeah, man.
That's definitely a hole, probably.
What do you think about the hole, Anthony?
It's a hole.
Yeah, on the whole, what do you think about it?
It's my
What do you
hole.
think about the hole?
It's my hole. I belong there.
What the fuck? God damn it.
This hole belongs to me!
The cheese hole.
I start descending into a perfectly camembert cheese-shaped hole just for me.
Fucking love the memes out of that stupid fucking panel. It's great.
My guys, we are going to jump in to the room and we're going to talk about things we're going to do here. For those who weren't a part of the stream, we are currently in our first week of a trial section of going over to YouTube, which means we're going to have some issues and some differences in how things work from Twitch over to YouTube. One big thing being there's no channel points. So these guys have to get through potentially the remainder of this arc without any fleeting inspirations. Interesting. We'll see how things go.
We're all alone.
Theater.
We'll see how things go from that. But let's go ahead and switch you guys over. Into the room. Even though the room doesn't want to show. There it is. We're here. Hello. Everybody. Welcome to the room. Welcome to the YouTube room. What's the difference between this and a regular room? Well, you see, does the regular room have a big red Y on it?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, so does this one. We've done it.
Good job.
We did it.
We did it.
It's pretty fun. We're doing things. We're doing good things. As everything's gonna be great. We have the things going forward that everybody will be able to do. So also because we're on YouTube, you guys can be as far back in the stream as you want and still chat in the regular chat, the live part of the chat, which means you can respond to something. You can respond to something that happens like 30 minutes ago and then say something and I go, what? We're past that. And then 30 minutes later, you'll see me respond to it. It'll be great.
Man.
It's like time travel, but for games.
I thought
No
you said
way.
I mean, it is really cool though that you can like pause this and
Actually
like
rewind
come back
a little
to it.
bit?
Yeah, and like come back to it later or rewind if something happens that you missed or you just want to see something again. That's kind of cool.
I should probably move to YouTube for that very feature because my kind of games, if you go in the middle of it, you'll be like, yeah, I have no idea what the context is.
I do not know if that was a thing that just happened in the chat because I said that. If it is, you are a true fucking god of comedy. But someone just said, whoa, 2 dogs on stream at once.
Oh my god.
That's my
Yeah.
favorite thing. I love it.
To be honest,
we
though, every
salute
time
you. We salute you for such a big tier joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You are
Or
king
great
of comedy.
comedic timing. One of the two.
One or the other. Either way.
being on YouTube, it feels like fairy tale all over again.
Speaking of being here, the big thing obviously is no channel points. That being said, I am going to give you guys something as a bit of a thing for that. Each of you are going to be given a fleeting roll right here. I will give one to each of you, and we'll put it over on the top of your little area, up on the top of your little thing next to some of your little candles. Each of you will have one you can use to re-roll any roll that you or your allies make this game. You only have the one, so use it wisely.
Oh
But
boy.
it will be
Oh,
there, and I will
boy.
give you one at the beginning of each game while we're doing this trial. And hopefully we'll have a thing here. We'll see what's going down. We'll see what's happening.
What's happening?
Yeah,
What's
we'll
happening?
see what's going on.
Right now, I'm working on comic gold, so you'll have to excuse me.
I see.
I want to say, why am I looking at Peter Griffin?
I'm gonna roll
No,
on a D4.
it's Gilgamesh.
I'm gonna roll on a D4
Yeah.
with 1 being Emerald, 2 being Will, 4 being Anthony, and most likely what'll land on 3 being Fomal.
Oh boy.
I would have been so happy if it was a 3. It was a 4. Anthony, what happened last game? Or do you want to double it and pass it to the next person?
I'm gonna double it, pass it over to Will.
Will, what happened last game?
Double it and
I'm
pass.
sure I pass it to Emerald.
Emerald, what happened last game?
I quadruple the
Fuck you
Well,
guys.
Fomal, what happened last time?
Look, man, I'm not capable today. I'm sorry.
I'm not gonna say it's good, but I am going to drive along to the best of my ability, because I'm gonna be fucking honest with you. It's been a long day. So, last time in Kingdom Hearts, they cannot keep making me do these fucking recaps. Like, I have run out of titles.
I have rights.
I have rights. Last time in Kingdom Hearts, the team sits on a bench with a Muna that is dying from 1 HP Fade-type cancer. And they talk to each other and decide, well, we could talk to some people, maybe we could train, maybe we could talk to Tor. And then Muna and Zarel just walk off into the car to try and talk to Tor. To at which point everyone else reminds them that if they just go by themselves, they might just fucking die, because Muna can't fight right now. And also, it's just dangerous out there, because, you know, the whole apocalypse thing, God forbid.
Nah.
And from non-intentional coercion, the whole team goes to Tor anyway. And the whole team sees Tor standing next to her favoriteest thing in the whole world besides murder, the little white flame over here.
Yeah. She loves that little
Yeah.
white flame.
She loves the little white flame.
It burnt a guy once, and they're happy about it.
I burnt my brother for 5 seconds. This is the happiest day of my life.
I'll do a twirl.
It's a flashback.
In my face, you can see the happiest I've ever been in my entire life, which was that exact moment and not a second before.
I burnt him. Shows flashback. Ow, I burnt myself trying to cook food with this white flame.
So the team goes, hey, Tor, so just to kind of keep you up on the situation, first of all, I guess we brought you your car, but you don't worry about the fort for now. We saw this guy's entire thing. We learned a lot of things about him. He's kind of a fucked up guy. And she's like, yeah, I mean, I could tell you a long and gigantic list of things that he has done. And we're like, no, but he's like actually really, really fucked up. And she's like, okay, in which way? It's like, well, he was kind of like a blood guy. And she's like, yeah, the full family was a whole team of blood guys. So you're not surprising me right now. And it's like, well, for us, it was really surprising when we learned that.
They were
I'm
surprised
sorry
to
that
the
you
extent.
She's like, I mean, I'm not surprised, but I'm not surprised. It's. I mean, it's definitely more than we'd expected, but you know, I'm not sitting here like, oh wow, he could do those things. Like, no, we were all aware. But
Also incest. Whoa, hold on.
I think that actually was a thing, kind of. Not in that
that was
way.
like the one thing that she actually like stopped at. It's like,
Like,
incest.
whoa,
Wait, what?
whoa.
I can tolerate the blood stealing, but I draw the line at incest. And this goes like, well, you know, we can't exactly like help you that much with that kind of stuff right now. And again, you're supposed to bring him to justice. That was the deal. Also, maybe like her sister wife, we would also like to bring her to justice. And then they're like, wait, no, hold on. She was like left at home for like a million years, and she's essentially a victim. What do you mean we're gonna put her on trial? She's like, yeah, she's a monarch. You guys have been picking up on the fucking shit.
You know, you guys don't understand my whole shtick.
Have you not figured out? Do you not see the sign? She points to the sign that just says all monarchs are bastards. Have you not seen the sign? And we're like, all right, listen.
Do you not get what I'm about?
Are you not following what I'm going down?
She's like just above average in wealth.
Man, if they're just above average, I'd hate to see the average.
There we go. I
hate to see the average being the richest person. And at that point, he's like, all right, listen, I can go find you a thing. You have to give me a moment, and I can show you a thing. And I'm gonna go get the thing now. And she's gonna go get the thing. And then the team's like, well, we might as well wait for her. So they go and they see Siphius over here. Hold on, put the helmet back on, you look naked. Alright, Siphius is over here, and it's like just staring at this black void. And it's like,
something just
hey,
flipped way over there, and I don't know why.
I don't know.
Something way off in the distance over that way just did a big flip, and I don't know what it was. Anyway, keep going.
Something just bounced. Alright, and the team, you know, we go over to Siphius, who continues to be as high range dangerous as possible. Just a range of like this, it's fine. And it's like, you guys see that, well, not really that way, but it's more like, hey, that's like a dark hallway that leads to nowhere. And it's like, yeah, it sure is a dark hallway that leads to nowhere. Like Vanta Black. No one else sees this. You shouldn't go in there, it's probably dangerous. Considering that no one else can see it. And it's like, yeah, it sure is a thing. Anyway, how's the egg quest going? And we're like, well, we found a couple of them. Well, I mean, we have become aware of where they are. We know that one of them is in a museum somewhere, and it's like, well, a museum, you know, probably doesn't have that many defenses anymore after, you know, the literal apocalypse. And then the other kid's like, well, it should be in a prison. It's like, well, that one's probably pretty heavily guarded, considering that it's a prison and people are really committed to the maintainment of keeping up the law somehow after the literal apocalypse. Don't worry about it. And then it's like, hey, we found another third secret egg. Hey, you know Taka? Well, my guy got, and in a different timeline, Hibiki almost said, oh, he got burned and cooked to death, which would have meant that we all died. But thankfully, that wasn't what was said. It's like, no, he's an egg somewhere. And it's like, oh, okay, so I won't hyper murder you. Not your fault. I'm not saying it's your fault that he's an egg. I'm just saying I would have had a bad reaction. You were the closest living thing in my reaction, the reactive
Bad
area.
reaction.
My man.
It's like an allergy.
There we go. I finished art.
Oh lord.
And
Just fucking delete that.
are you still doing the family art, the Family Guy bit?
It's family art. We're the family.
Shut up! I'm so tired of you using my words against me.
Trying to cover up
And
the little symbol on the top right of the screen that is a little like bad connection thing that is on a couple of your things. So I put a little crown on it, but before I put a little Zarel face on it. So I thought I'd say that out loud. Anyway, continue. Sorry.
Cool.
Okay. Anyway, the point is, it's like, well, you know, if you guys find that other egg, I'll count it as one of the 2 that you have to get from me. You still have to get the other one. And Gilgamesh is like, no, we'll find them all. We will find them all. It is like Pokemon. We will find them all. And it's like, yeah, but the point still stands. If you get to the 2 of them, if this is the second one that you found, and one of the other ones, I will count them for me, accepting that you are a worthy person to exist around me. And it's like, well, all right, have a good one, Siphius. And then Hibika's like, wait, I could do a good thing in my dark little heart. My dark little angsty little teenager heart, even though I'm not a teenager. And he walks back and it's like, here, have a cranberry Sprite. And Siphius is like, thank you, I am a dog.
Sprite cranberry.
Didn't they drink it?
and Siphius drank the cranberry Sprite.
Look at their dog ears.
I don't think there's any place by me that sells cranberry Sprite.
Then you want a Sprite cranberry?
Look at their
I
doggy
do.
ears. Shush, bow
Those
wow.
beautiful dog ears. Bow wow.
Bow, bow, bow,
many
bow, bow.
packs.
This is first
I
in the
thought-
time that I yelled
Oh.
at some clouds.
So this afternoon there were 2 Yorkies just in our parking lot, and we just brought them in and called Humane Society to pick them up. But they're very cute dogs.
Yorkies are great. I have a bunch of Yorkies.
I spent like all my lunch just petting the dogs. They're very cute, and
Like
they
a
were
good
clearly
fucking lunch.
they were fucking groomed. They were taken care of. They know how to do tricks. They know how to sit, roll over, all that shit.
Hopefully they were
So-
just lost and they can find their owners then.
Yeah. Yeah, there's plenty of houses nearby, but we called Humane Society for them. But I hope they're chipped or something. They didn't have collars or nothing. But they were very cute.
They're most likely chipped. If they didn't
Yeah.
have collars, they're most likely chipped.
I hope
I'm gonna hope that, yeah.
Yeah.
You guys are learning some things about yourselves right now. I don't know. Are we good? Should I
Yeah, we're good. We're good. We're
continue?
good. We're good.
Yeah, if you
Alright,
get chips
fine.
around.
So, you know, after that little thing, we go back to Tor, and Tor's like, okay, I'm gonna give you the strongest weapon in all of my arsenal, which isn't really true, but you get the point. Here is a gun.
Wah.
And everyone's like, oh my god, a gun! And Hibika's like, oh, a gun. Another day in Las Vegas, it's fine. And it's like, listen, this gun, it's a prototype. It can shoot like this little white flame, like the flame that we're staring at right now, this one. However, it can only do it once with 1 cartridge, because it's, I wouldn't call it the most stable prototype ever created by man. It's kind of mad. It can shoot 1 bullet. You got 1 bullet, all right? And then it's like, wait, I can cast some magic through this gun if I wanted to. And Ibiki has many thoughts about it, but also of the fact that he's got 1 bullet and he has to make it count.
I have 2. Thank you very
technically
much.
he already had a bullet and the thing had a bullet in it. So he has technically 2 bullets.
Yeah,
Doesn't
fire
that
the
mean
other
3?
one, idiot. Do it.
Oh no, he didn't. No, you had to. Leave me alone.
She
Oh,
gave
go
me
away.
2 of them before, and then she gave me the gun.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And told me
yeah.
it didn't have one in the
Leave me
gun.
alone. Go away. Stop bullying.
Fine, I'll go away.
Go away.
He'll be back.
Okay, I
I'm
wasn't able to find Sprite Cranberry, but a killer deal right now with McDonald's. Spend $20, get a free drink.
I'm now away.
All right, what else happened?
Okay. Anyway, well, after we found out the gun, it's like you get 1 shot, make it count. I mean, I guess you can borrow the truck, but can you guys actually get the job done, please? I would like it to be done. that was what we agreed, please? And it's like, yeah, all right, we're fucking moving. All right, hold on. Here we go. We drove away. And the team gets back to the library. And it's like, whoa, we have to find someone to train us ASAP. And we don't have that much time. So our options are, I don't know, maybe talk to the gun guy, maybe talk to Macho, maybe talk to the literal person who is capable of knowing like a million weapons at once. Maybe talk to Hilson, he's not sure. He seems like a mess perfect guy.
I cannot look at him and go, you know how to do gun fu. But I should have.
You know gun fu. And maybe talk to the ballet. Point is, after some thinking, we all, we said we're gonna talk to some people. Let's do that. Let's talk to people. That's an important thing about being in a society, I've heard. But I mean, Munab just also was very tired, so she had to kind of sit down for a bit. And
That's so sleepy.
she's such a queen. She's so sleepy. And Hibiki went over to Prescott, and well, he didn't know his name yet, but it was Marcy. He gave the name Marcel after ignoring him for half an hour. And Hibiki's like, hey, you know about guns, right, Prescott? And it's like, I mean, I can use them. I mean, it all, it wasn't the war, but it's a lot happened back in my world. And then you start seeing the Vietnam flashbacks with like the gunshots and shit and the bomb dropping and all the fucking Fallout music. And that was essentially the conversation between them. Just like one prolonged Prescott flashback.
I
And
just
he's like,
know
I mean,
he
I
did
could
not
teach
have
you
white
if you needed someone who could probably teach you. There's probably someone around here who knows a lot more about this kind of weapons than I can. And then Gilgamesh was over to Booyah and Macho thinking, Booyah is pretty good at spinning. Maybe she could teach us a spin. And, they talk of it, and it's like, first of all, some of the creatures that we've been seeing, the emblems are pretty, like the emblem heartless are pretty kind of like exclusive to this area. Kind of like an exclusive version, like in Diamond and Pearl, you can only get them here. They aren't like that much better in like the light, but they definitely, it's kind of like a new thing in this area, which is really interesting. And also, a little bit of teasing with like, hey, will we ever get to know about your brothers, Gilgamesh? And he's like, no. And he walks away. And Macho's like, here's your jawbreaker weapon. It's a it's a gummy block weapon.
It's the most common axe I think I could ever make. But also it's made from gummy block though.
This is the most axe in the history of axes. You have that's the most generic axe ever created. You could even say it's perfectly generic.
So.
It's pretty axe.
But then Kreb gave us this. I'm like, I guess that can be what it looks like.
It's folded. It's like an IKEA model.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, there's a lot of interesting properties with gummy block. I mean, like you need to mine it. Mine it works a lot better than any of the other stuff. It's kind of weird how like molding this actually works. And it's like, well, Booyah goes back and it's like, well, I could teach you, but there's probably someone around here that can probably teach you better. And then Sorrel goes to Hilson and it's like, hey, can you teach me how to use shields? And Ryan's like, I'm literally right here. It's like, oh, that's great. It's like a Christmas dream come true.
There was some questions about this, by the way, in the last after things in the last stream.
Yeah.
You basically can learn things from anybody. Anybody here that has something that they can do, such as Booyah with their spin, you can learn that from Booyah. When it comes to learning brand new things quickly, Ragna is definitely the person there. He is a master of many styles.
Ragna's the CEO of learning.
And if he gets his dojo together, then he can even better teach you guys things. That being said, there's also going to be other things in the dojo that can be pretty fun, including the ability to train with other people and learn their stuff faster. Just because he's the one that's going to be able to teach you guys a lot of things, there are some things he doesn't know, such as magic and things of that nature. He's not amazingly knowledgeable on like high tier magics and high tier other things, but he can teach you guys all of the fundamentals in the world, is essentially where he's at. I can teach you how to use any of your weapons at a moderate level. I can teach you how to use any skill at a low to moderate level, stuff like that. But there are going to be some things that are higher tier that he won't be able to help you immediately with. But for right now, he's the best.
He's the best right now.
Around, right now. I mean, also around, but you know.
You'll find better eventually.
But he did
But
help
right
you guys
now,
a little bit, right?
He's here.
Yeah, he taught us about our stances and how to move quickly, and we learned how to dash. Even Muna got to, even though her bones are all breaking inside.
Somebody once told me my bones were macaroni.
The only one that didn't learn anything is Ramu. But they had fun with their calisthenics.
Ramu,
I mean, to be fair, Booya also didn't learn much either. Like, I was like, you're literally doing a perfect stance. What do you want me to tell you? I'm glad you're having fun.
Calisthenics.
Ramu did learn something. Ramu looked at everyone else and learned, I'm the best damn one here.
Still caught your ass. Got killed for it, but I still caught.
And yeah, I think that was a session. We were training, and we're gonna get ready to do other stuff this session.
Yep. At this point, you guys are at a position where you have learned your dash. It took you most of the day, so you guys will have to rest before making your way off to do anything else. If you guys would like, you could also, spend some other days doing some training or things like that if you want. You guys did kind of feel that there was a bit of urgency when it comes to taking care of this man's over at his manor, but it is entirely up to you when you guys want to take that on. By the end of the day, you guys would go to rest. Upon going to rest, you will be able to, first off, Muna, you are going to be healed. Your bones are going to heal from a good night's sleep.
My bones. I forgot how much I boned you. Wait. Oh, no.
At the end, in the end of the day, you guys would see that even Booya is going to rest tonight.
Yay!
They're not gonna go out and fucking spend the entire day up doing things because they did that already and are looking bad. So
Good. They've been running and beating things up for like the last 3 days.
I have so much XP.
And then she did calisthenics.
I have so much good XP.
Booya, you look awful. Rest, please.
All right, Booya, let's get you to bed.
As you guys would go to rest that night, I would like to know, upon going and getting your rest, is there anything you guys would like to do during the night? Or would we like to just go on into the next morning whenever you guys can hopefully check on Michel, since the last time you saw him, he was tearing himself apart and dying, or just go off and do your own things?
Whose lap am I sleeping on tonight?
It's up to you, I guess.
Let's see, whose lap is open? Where are we? I will sleep on...
I mean, you technically don't have to sleep on anyone's lap because you're not dying tonight.
Yeah.
I know I don't have to. I think Rosa needs a lap sleep.
You can go and try. You can go and try to see if Rosa wants a nap. Wants a nap sleep or a lap sleep or whatever you fucking just said.
Even if not, I'll at least sleep with Rosa. You know?
Yeah. Obviously.
Jesus.
Anybody else want to go and see anybody during the night?
I'm good. I'm good personally.
Okay.
No place has cranberry juice. This sucks.
Yeah. Besides, maybe try to do some personal training when no one's looking in this little tower.
It is in the night, and you're not going to get much from it, but you could definitely do whatever you want to do during the night. You are a dragon, so we can say that you are somewhat more used to staying up long nights because you sleep most of your fucking life away.
What do you mean my 5-decade power nap is too long?
Power nap, he says.
Power nap.
Just one human lifetime. What's so bad about it? Maybe 2 on like a well, 1 if they're lucky, 2 by average.
Mm-hmm.
What's wrong with that?
We will say then at this point that you would note that most people who are here, they are separating themselves into different places as far as how the world here is sort of separated. Obviously, Macho and Bosco are staying out in their little hut area, their little animal area that does not have animals yet. We see that that Mr. Everyman's most likely shuts himself up in his own thing. As for the other people who are out and about, they would make their way in and go off to their own little sections and areas to go and rest. None of them looking as if they are really wanting to just take over a building nearby, because, you know, people used to belong in those and then they were killed. So it's a little weird.
It's kind of weird. Sometimes their skulls are still there, and like you can pop at them for a little and be like, "Well, I'm a living person," but then you have to kind of sit down with the grim reality of the whole thing.
You know, I hope Prescott at some point went around making sure that none of the buildings had like ovens on or some shit.
Oh, don't worry, I did.
Good.
That'd be the worst thing ever, is if we went over there, went through in the and everything just burst into flames again.
Me, when I die, I would have left my stove on.
Oh no. But yes, as you guys would have these situations, you would also note that eventually, throughout things, other people would make their way here as well. You would see that there would eventually be a Jordan remaking their way into this place, going up and doing their little sneak and sleep. Yeah, everybody made their way here, do their sneaky sleeps, do their goods. We'll go over toward where Muna is. Muna,
Yes.
since you would make your way over toward Rosa and attempt to lap sleep with them, you would find that Rosa would, at this point, have a nice little bundle of little fabrics and things over by where they are. You would see that upon looking at that, a lot of their adornments are missing from them. They don't seem to have a whole bunch of their jewelry and things they had on their hands and around their necks and things. However, they would immediately tell you, like, "Oh, I sold those to Macho and the others to get beddings and yada yada yada." So you would see some nice little beddings and things up here that they seem to go and sit over atop of. It's not like a bed; it's more like a pallet, like a mat. But as you would make your way over, is there anything you'd like to talk to Rosa about?
Again, sorry we were so forward earlier.
Oh, about all of the things you were saying? It's no problem at all. You're just talking about what you're trying to think of as the best options, correct? As well as worrying about me.
Yes.
I do not take any offense to it. I can't.
Yeah. Yeah.
That makes you feel great, don't it?
Should I stop saying things like that? It seems that whenever I do say that, you get a little bit awkward.
No. It's not fine necessarily, but you know, the whole us caring about you thing, of course. We want you to be the most free you can, and to me, that doesn't sound free enough for you.
Well, I suppose that is true. If it makes you feel any better, though, I'm having a lot of fun.
I'm glad.
It has been the first time that I've had to, or that I have been able to sleep outside of my manor since I was, ever. Other than going off toward the summer homes and things of that nature, I've never spent any time away from my family or my home before.
It's really eye-opening the first time you leave a home like that, isn't it?
I don't believe there was a lot of time for me to be able to get that the first time, but as the nights have gone by, I have noticed that there are more differences than I'd like to readily admit, as I've been talking to some of the people around here as well about how best I can go about getting any sort of comforts and things of that nature, I have noticed that a lot of the things that I considered comforts have been extravagances to them, which makes me feel rather bad.
Yeah.
Though it is not something that I feel that I can change, is something unfortunate that has happened with me. I can only think of it as, well, some sort of a perk of my situation, but I do not think that I can go back to that now, after knowing that. Knowing that there are a lot, as there are, that do not even have some of the more enjoyable comforts that I've had over my life, especially with all of you telling me that my life has been so tragic or sad, it makes me think that other people's lives are probably very tragic and sad as well.
There are, but the best thing you could do about that is not worry so much about what you do in comparison, but what you can do to help others.
I have not been able to think of many things that I can do. Unfortunately, I do not have any control over the things in my estate. And I feel like, after talking with Marcel and others, that even if I were to have power over my estate, it would be difficult to use that power to do much for the help of many people without risking being, taken advantage of in some ways. I've been trying to ask for advice from others what I could do without my estate, but even then there are very limited options that I can try.
That is an unfortunate reality, just how little there is to do, but it's those little things that really do help in the end. You can get to the bigger ones later, but for now, just do the small things you can, and even if those small things are the only thing you do, the fact that you will do those small things is a lot more than anyone can ask for, really.
You know, I have heard that something that I might be able to do. Well, I have been told by many people around, those who have spent most of their lives here in the lower cities and the central city, that it seems that most of the guards and other people that have authority here, they seem to work directly underneath people who have a lot of power. And for some reason, that is causing problems for a lot of people. Maybe the fact that they don't have the same amount of wealth and power to employ such people, or at least ask for such loyalties. Perhaps I can make sure that the people who do work under my house can, help everyone else as well. We have quite a lot of people in our employ, and we do not need nearly as many, I believe.
I think that's perfect.
I was thinking that perhaps that would be something I could talk with my brother on once I return.
Yeah. She does have a bit of a sad face for a second, but then she's like, yeah. I hope the talk can go well. I really do. I have my doubts, but...
Muna, do you not have your own beddings?
Oh no, I don't think too much about that. I just sleep wherever.
Well, would you like to use mine? I do not need them.
I'm not gonna take them from you, but we can share them.
Oh, of course. I am quite used to sharing.
Then let's share this sleeping arrangement.
They will pat over toward them. You go and lay down with them. As they talk to you a little bit more on some of the things that they've talked to some of the others around, mostly having to do with talking with Captain Marcel, or with talking to Prescott, talking with the others who are all about. They give you these slight little things that they have learned and spoken of them. Perhaps that little bit of information will come useful if you ever go and talk with other people and you roll a really good dice and I go, whoa, well, Rosa told you about that.
And in exchange, she's gonna talk about the first time out of her, like, big castle area. Talk about how one of the first things she had to learn how to do was cook, and her first meals were the most atrocious things.
Aw.
And she had a whole bucket of nacho cheese.
God damn it!
Speaking of people who are still awake, however, we will make our way. I would say that Zarel, you would have made your way and shown Booya where to go and stay. You took her over toward one of the little balcony areas, and then you went back to your little chair that you slept at to go and sleep.
Yeah.
We'll assume the same thing for Hibiki. Hibiki, you go and find your little corner. As you lay there, you would find that Ramu would also just kind of lay over on top of one of the guardrails. At first, just kind of staring down at you and then just kind of curling up on it. But as you guys would go off to rest, Gilgamesh, you would spend quite a bit of time up on the top area where the beacon is, doing a little bit of exercise. You would note that the beacon itself, it is difficult to understand how this magic works. Whenever you get up there and you see it, you aren't blinded. This isn't a place where you feel like that light, which apparently is covering a humongous part of the city at the moment, but it isn't oppressive. It isn't something that you can't look at. It's not like the sun. It's more like a warm light, that is going through. It's very easy. You've slept up here before. That being said, it is difficult to look past at night while you're inside of it. There is a very little you can see. One thing you can see, however, as you look off past it at the night, is still the large storm rising up in the south. It doesn't seem to have changed much. It doesn't seem to have gotten bigger. It doesn't seem to have really moved. But every now and then you do hear the far-off sound, the far-off, very familiar sound of lightning going off. It is difficult to, at that point, really understand what's going on. Something apparently is keeping them either in one spot, or maybe they're not awake, or maybe this is something completely different, but you can't think that that's the case. It feels too familiar. You do look out. You also look out over the remainder of the shores around this area. You know that somewhere along these shores is the large ship that you were told about, the airship that needs repaired. You still have no real funds or money to be able to do such a thing, but hey, I mean, you heard that you know where a fucking treasury is, and that might be something you can mess about with.
This is true.
As you do a bit of exercises, you do a bit of things going on. Is there anything in particular you would like to do as you are finishing up? Because you would find that even though you have been able to stay up for days and days on end, while you've been in this body, it does seem to require a normal rest schedule. But it's kind of like that of like an elf. You're like kind of sleeping on like a half asleep for everybody else. You're like have like the 4 hours.
Yeah, it's okay. He has one eye open at all times. Which one?
At night, you just tape your other eye open, and you're just like,
Just shift the eye patch over. Yeah. I think that seeing as how light and all that is kind of imperative to what feels like our success here, I guess he would try and mess with the beacon and see if he can draw light or bend it or something. You know, new magics.
You start checking the beacon out. You start trying to figure out more things about it, seeing if there's anything to figure out about it. As you look it over, as you begin to try to interact with it, why don't you roll me for your magic?
Woo, that's sure as fuck a number, probably.
you have a
Do
one. You're
it,
good,
roll
you're
your
good.
math.
You have these 2 fleetings here too, if you'd like to. Or not those fleeting. You have these 2 inspirations as well, if you want to use those.
Fuck it, let's roll these first and see what happens.
That's a +4.
So that's a +5. Please.
Oh, let's see what's going on here.
Please.
Oi, oi, oi.
I'm scared.
Ooh,
Not natural 20, baby.
That's a 21 altogether. As you check out
Always
this,
blackjack. It's my favorite number.
as you check out this beacon, as you try your best to figure out anything going on with it, you do find that the magic, the natural magics that seem to be going on with it are somewhat familiar to you as you look it over enough. You find that whatever this magic is, it definitely is coming from the planet. It's coming from the area around. It reminds you very much of a ley line. As you look it over, this natural magic spring that seems to be coming up from the ground, you note that because it is natural magic, not like wild magic, not like arcane magic, not like divine magic, because it is very natural magic coming from the earth, you do know that dragons do have quite a interesting interaction with them. If you could somehow find a way to use light or use some kind of a light kind of spell, maybe you could fuck around with this a bit more. As you try to draw some in, as you try to do your best, you do realize that your very nature as the type of dragon you are is sort of in competition with this. It is sort of tougher to do much about it. It's sort of tougher to see any sort of things coming out from it. One thing you do realize, however, is as you touch it, you feel a strange far-off power. You bring your hand off of it for a moment, but then you bring it back, trying to see if you can figure anything else going on with it. You're trying to see if you can understand it a bit more. You feel a feeling coming off from the southeast, as well as a feeling coming off from the north. You feel another one coming from the far east, and finally you do feel another feeling coming from the northwest. These other signatures, this other feelings you're getting, because of that 21, you understand to be potentially other ley lines. Whether those are all connected to this magic itself or are their own separate things, you feel these natural magics and you understand that if you were to find some way to use this, maybe for your own stuff or maybe even for that light cannon machine thing that ship can do, maybe you can mess around with it or maybe you can utilize them in some way. But that is all you get right now.
I see. All right.
As you feel these things and as you bring your hand back away from it, trying to see if there was anything that you got any sort of other thing from or anything, you do find that there's a little chime, the fluttering of tiny wings as a little fairy makes its way out of your beard once again. Do you not understand the notion of sleep?
Too many beings spend too much time asleep.
Never thought I'd hear that from a dragon.
My bouts of rest were only necessary because I couldn't find a way to circumvent them completely.
You enjoy poking the cat, as they say.
Oh.
I can tell just from your general way of expressing yourself, as well as your own feeling as a magician. Your magic is sort of the antithesis of this, yet you are inviting it so willingly into yourself.
There is truth in what you said. But it's our key to finding victory against these things. Were I as strong as I should be, I would not need it. I would simply force it to my will like anything else. But right now, I don't have that luxury anymore.
Are you unable to call upon your magics, the ones that you had before? Is that something that all of you share?
No. Well, perhaps the witch, but the other two, I was sworn. Doubtful. For myself, yes, I am cursed. At the
Curse.
moment.
Is that what this body is?
Like the book spirit, but this prison gets to live. Some parts of me wonder if which would be worse.
And who has cursed you such a way they did?
A wild mage. It is difficult to explain how it happened.
I've heard you speak of your enemies before. The dragon that apparently is off on the shores or the waves down to the south. I've heard you talk about the ones that you want to take down, this strange duke that is off over there. I have heard you get angry at other things, including whenever you had gotten angry at that woman on top of the bridge, yet I've never heard you talk about your captor. Have you already killed them?
No. They...
Are they beyond your power then? Have you given up your hope of ever defeating them?
They've been lost with my world.
So that's it then? You believe then that you will not be able to have your revenge on them?
My vengeance will be breaking this curse that wild magic has placed upon me. Their death is irrelevant. Even if they could, even if I could force them to do anything. They are a novice, and this was a fluke.
You talk as if you forgave them.
I am unsure if I've forgiven them. She has yet to show any kind of real worth as a mage of any kind. Completely useless, save for, again, this fluke.
Is that why whenever that was mentioned that wild magic was off to the north, that you felt so interested? Or is it because of the prison that you are in?
I do not hide my motivations. I wish to be free. Then saving this world will be an absolute joke.
I see. I suppose we must make that a priority then.
There is much to do between now and then.
I get that. But it isn't rough to be able to find out something about it at the very least. I do not know much of wild magic myself. I know of its existence and I know why it exists. But I was never a mage, nor was I ever anyone interested in such a thing. I will think on it. I will go through the memories that I may have, and perhaps I will even try to commune with some spirits on the way. If I can figure anything out, I will let you know. Though I will tell you one thing. Whatever this wild magic is, if you do see it as a curse, curses are interesting. There are only a few types of curses that get stronger, or even that stay around after the caster's death. If you truly believe that this person is gone, then that means they are no novice.
I never said they died. Much like my brothers, they're simply lost. They will be found. And it will be either before or after I rectify this curse. In either regard, she will atone for her crime against me.
I see. I will do my utmost. But as I have already told you, it does not matter to me when this gets solved, either tonight, tomorrow, next year, whenever. As long as it gets solved. I will not do anything to rush anything, but if I happen to come across any knowledge, I will let you know.
This would be appreciated. You mentioned this is anathema to me. The light. Do you know of any ley lines of a differing power?
You are trying to think of some way to get back your natural strength.
It would appear that in a briefest of flickers, I was able to cast some magics when the great heartless creature destroyed the train, but only for a moment.
So it is not gone.
Like my true form imprisoned.
You see them look over toward where the beacon is, and they seem to land upon it for a moment. As they do, you do notice sparkles and different kinds of glittering effects happening around them before they rise up from it and then make their way back over towards you. It seems that there are many different places around the general area, though I do think that when I was a part of my tree, I felt more. None of them truly felt like you, from what I could see. However, the closest one I believe you'll find off to the northwest.
Northwest.
That is one that I think feels enough of a difference from this one. The closest one is the one to the north, but that one does not feel like you at all. It feels far more like this. The one that I don't know much about is off to the northwest. I would be careful. I sense a great power in that direction as well.
It's some creature that siphons that similar energy to mine. It better be a dangerous creature. I wouldn't have something else mimic my power and be something inappropriately strong.
I will accustom myself more to your feeling. Once I do, perhaps I can find out more. Maybe I'll even have an understanding of if your brothers are feeling like you or not. Though, I would not get my hopes up.
I need not hope. I know I will find them. But to save you the effort, they do not share power like mine.
That is what you were meaning before. Gilgamesh. I do not mean the magic you used in your place, is how I felt you. That is not the antithesis that I was talking about when I was meaning the light. I do not know how you saw yourself in your world, but you feel a lot like how I felt in my world. Though I do think I have changed. I was not referring to your mastery or of your magic when I was saying you are the antithesis of light. I was meaning, in your world you were considered very, very dark.
I see.
if what people have told me is true about this place, that the darkness draws in other darkness, I would say that you did not have a small amount of work in that. Though that's probably not what you want to hear.
You're insinuating I brought that ruin to my world.
I am saying that, like everything, it is a collective effort. You are not the one that brought your world to ruin, but if darkness begets darkness, what I feel from you is no small amount. Perhaps that can be changed here, but I still sense it within you. And as long as it is there, especially in a world where these creatures walk and attack, you will bring danger. Let's go back to this music. I am not saying that I dislike you for it or anything like that. You do not have to worry about judgment from me, but you must, at some point, Gilgamesh, accept something of yourself. Either accept that you are a being of darkness, or do something to change it.
Is that greed to save this world enough? Is protecting the lives of these frail little humans not enough? What grand gesture should I perform to alter this state of being you see?
It is not anything you have to prove to me, Gilgamesh. It is nothing you have to prove to this world either. It is something you have to prove to yourself. As long as you still hold yourself and your old way on such a pedestal, then you will always adhere to that, and you will always shred forth toward that. But, again, I offer no judgment. That is your own, how you are. Just by being a being of darkness is not bad in itself. But if you wish to change, it comes from within, not what you do for others. Self-reflection, acceptance, and most of all, understanding of your flaws. Or don't. Again, I like you the way you are. They will make a small little flickering noise, and as they do, before you have much of a chance to respond to them, though you know that they can hear you even if they're in your beard, they do seem to twill around and then make their way into your large beard.
He actually doesn't have any retorts. He's just staring off at that crystal now and looking towards thunder. Nobody
And gets
believes in
owned by a
thunder.
gay little fairy.
Gay little fairy. As you sit up here thinking about what the fairy has said, and also potentially thinking about the people that have been brought up in your mind, eventually you do drift off to an uneasy sleep. And a couple of hours later, you all wake up. Now we got the happy music. No. There we go.
Oh, what a good day to wake up on the soundtrack of Kingdom Hearts.
You guys would each find yourself at some point getting up and making your way over toward one another. Just as you have been ready every morning so far, just as you have had happen each time before, Macho does come in and give everybody some food, as well as prepare breakfast for everyone. As this comes down, you guys would each get your breakfast. You guys would come over near each other, and you would find yourselves over at the same table. Zarel, they're over at your bed. This is your bedroom. What the fuck are they doing here?
This is my bedroom. That's fine. I do love having people in my bedroom. It makes me feel less alone.
You guys would feel, upon waking up as well, that there is more presences inside of here, including you would find that the keeper of the library is here at this point. They had shown up at some point in the night. They seem to be mostly off doing their own thing. But as you guys have woken up and you guys are going about your morning, your eating, your things, each of you have collected yourselves to each other. You guys haven't checked on Michel yet, some from his big thing he had happen the other day. But at the moment, you don't have much to tell him. So even if you were to summon him, it's like, hey, Michel, you good? All right, bye. Rip yourself a hat, I guess.
Did Muna tell him about the whole fairy dragon blood ritual thing?
Mm.
Probably.
I don't know if they did. I have no idea.
You could talk to them. I know for a fact you didn't ask him about the fairy dragon. You do know, I will let you guys know, Michel has been locked away for around 40 years. That being said, this fairy dragon thing probably was far before then. Most likely was far before then.
Mm-hmm.
But that is up to you guys. If you guys want to try to get any more information on that, you can.
I feel a bit
this
too
morning-
bad waking him up.
This morning, you guys are given chicken. There's some chicken and eggs. Macho like to call it the whole barn.
Ooh.
That is how that is what he is calling this breakfast. As you guys also have a large thing of milk between you guys.
Also inspired by FOML, I did make new art.
Oh no, let me go look. So now not only do we have Peter Griffin, but we also have, look at all that cheese.
Is that Lois?
It's Luna.
I can't use all this. Gilgamesh, I can't use all this cheese.
Gilgamesh.
Legitimately upset. I'm
You know what? I guess that bitch is dying.
Anyway.
Boy, Muna, this much cheese reminds me of the time I killed everyone as a dragon.
That happened a lot for Gil. Anyway, so
That was a lot of nacho cheese for Gilgamesh.
what would you guys like to do with your chicken and eggs and milk breakfast that you're having?
Breakfast, that's how you say it here in Cherish.
Yeah.
Well, we noticed that I'm sure we all noticed that the green-haired girl was back. We could probably ask her if she found her way to the museum or anything.
I guess her little visit thing went good. She didn't have any problems. Probably good.
Well, yes, I will talk to them after. I'm not myself without my eggs and bakey.
There's no bakey. There's only chicken.
Eggs and chicky.
Eggs and chicky.
How can this be the whole barn without bacon, Macho? In fact, there's bacon now. I've decided.
Oh, it's
Hooray!
There's also steak
Now there's-
tips.
Oh, all right. That is the whole barn.
Now it's the whole damn barn.
We're out of animals.
Out of animals that we morally agree can be eaten.
There's also some farmer nuggets. You decide to stay away from those.
Gilgamesh has seconds.
All of you to assume that there's enough food to actually feed it.
Bold of you to assume there's enough for his firsts.
His first breakfast, second breakfast, third breakfast, afternoon tea, second afternoon tea.
What about fancies? I don't think they have fancies.
Yeah, these fucking savages don't have thirdsies. Anyway.
Gilgamesh in his home world had 2 modes, fight and eat.
Very often they used to be the same thing.
Yeah, we
Like-
kept them both active.
Samog would bitch to you about like this one hobbit that like killed him, and you're just like, I like their way of eating.
Gilgamesh, you argue when you're hungry.
Yes.
Would you guys like to go off and see the library keeper then?
She could be helpful.
Yes, indeed.
Helpful with what? She gonna join us and
No,
politely
she sits
asking a
outside.
man to stop doing what he's doing?
Because that's what we're gonna do, right? Just politely ask him.
Yeah, we're gonna just politely tell them to stop.
No, I'm going to take off his legs first, then ask him to stop. By which I mean I'm going
Alright,
to tell him.
okay. I was keeping a little bit of hope that might work, but I guess we can go back to the leg thing.
Don't have hope in things that are unrealistic. So,
Then how do I know what's realistic, Gilgamesh?
experience.
Yeah, Zarel doesn't have a lot of that. They were born 2 days ago. Happy 2nd birthday.
That's not how
It's
it works.
been a
but
couple
thank
more
you.
days than 2. Muna.
It's been almost a week. It's been about 4 or 5 days.
I meant her experience in magical things, including perhaps glyphs and runes.
That is true. You guys are wanting to find a rune and shit. Very
Oh
good.
my god, everyone, look at my 7-year-old 1 week as of this today.
Shut up.
Yeah,
I
she's
suppose
probably
that
the
it
best to
is
ask
true.
about that.
When we're looking for our own, that would be a good place to start. Well,
Zarel
I'm
gets
taking
up.
my eggs and chicken with me.
You bring your eggs and Chicky with you. You make your way over. I heard that Chicky is the tuna of the land.
I've heard it's like fish, but for land.
It's like a landfish.
Is
What a
anybody,
curious world.
is anyone else
Yes.
wanting to go over toward the library keeper?
Yeah.
Yeah. Gilgamesh puts his 7th ball onto the side and gets up.
Muna, do you want to make your way over to the library keeper as well?
And Muna what?
Yeah, they can walk now.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, Will, do you want to?
Well, if everyone else is doing it.
Peer pressure.
If your friendship is a bridge, would you?
You all make your way over toward where the library keeper is. You note that they seem to be staring off toward the archway of the area over here where this large door is, very interestedly. You find that as you approach, they seem to walk through the door without it even seeming to mind. But then they would walk back and then stare at the archway again very suspiciously. They seem
Is
to just walk
something-
through solid fucking wood though, so that was pretty neat.
Is something the matter, darling? Your supernatural abilities bothering you?
Oh, gosh, no clipping.
It's all of you again. I'm sorry, I haven't had a lot of conversation with each of you. Only one of you, I believe, has had a very long conversation with me. Looks over
Yeah.
towards Zarel. I don't. Was it Zarel that was? Who was the only one that hasn't talked to her?
Zarel, yeah, I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure.
I believe you're the only one that I haven't met.
Oh well, Flamio, it's a good time to meet you.
It is good time. It is a good time to meet you as well.
See, we're all met up.
Oh, all right then.
It's so easy.
They then just look back over toward the archway again.
He's just smiling. Yeah, we did it.
So we needed your expertise or potential expertise on something.
Oh,
If
you
you wouldn't
do?
mind. Yes.
What is it that you need?
We are trying to locate a glyph in a mansion. Do you have any ideas how we could do that?
Well, they're usually very physical, unless they're not. So I would suggest looking for it. Though if it is invisible, then you will not be able to see it with your eyes.
Excellent. Now, what seems to be the problem with the archway?
Better be told us nothing.
I love that Muna's like, yes, understood. we must open our eyes to our surroundings, but only if we can see it. Understood, yes.
Understood. Continue on.
Oh,
She has a
this.
witch's hat, so she gets away with it.
Oh, this. I am wondering as to why there is nothing beyond the borders here.
What do you mean?
Well, if I were to step forward, hold on. Would you like to come with me?
Well, sure.
What does
Tries
that
to walk
mean?
through the wood.
You go to walk through the wood. The wood is very solid, so you cannot get through. However, you see that the library keeper grabs onto you. As they do, they step through, and you go with them, and all you see is a white void.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
Just touches where they went, like,
It is very solid.
what?
How is this possible?
I do not know. I'm sure there was something here before. Oh well. They go to
Why
walk
did you-
back without you. Do you say or do anything?
Knock.
They step on the other side without Muna. You guys do not hear any knocking.
What? Where?
Oh, you're
Oh.
back.
Hello there.
Why did you leave Muna in there?
Oh, that's right. They then walk through again. As
And you know
Muna, you see
And
them
you know
step
what?
back out. Ah, I realized I did not bring you back. Did you want to come back or did you want to stay here?
Yes, please.
All right then.
I thought I was gonna be like, hey, you wanna go back there? You wanna stay here? Yes, please. Okay, walks away.
Oh, so she'll assume that you meant yes to go with her and not
I mean,
leave
that
your
was the
ass
last
in there.
thing.
But when we try to ask her any other bullshit, it's like
Well-
pulling teeth.
It's because I'm a witch.
Yeah, we get each other.
As Mona
Oh, that's
good. Big eyes just looks at you guys. There's just white there.
Like this just white. Nothing.
Everything's just white. Like
Oh.
nothing.
This was not like this before. Before the beacon was lit, there was many more sections to the library. But I do not know where they
Yeah,
have gone.
I
Did we
figured
break
you had
your
room.
library?
You lost a. How do you lose a room?
Oh, it's much more than rooms, hallways, buildings even.
How do you lose a building?
How did we break this so?
I have a feeling this was not our doing.
I believe this has something to do with the prisoners awakening.
Why would it be that?
Because the prisoner is the one that is locked here, and the one that all of the magic here was used to lock between. By unlocking the prisoner, I believe that magic has sort of made a section just for him. Perhaps if the prisoner is able to get stronger, or if there are more locks that have been unlocked for them, there will be much larger portions of this place that will awaken.
Out of curiosity, this prisoner you speak of, do they have anything to do with the prophecy of the world being destroyed, then it opens up?
Huh?
What do you ask
Phenomenal.
him?
I have not talked to the prisoner very much since they made their way here. I believe all of you have talked to him a lot more than I have.
Oh, that prisoner.
Yeah, he's right over there. Yeah, I kind of tore himself apart. I don't know if he's in a state for talking right now.
Oh, then
I'm
this...
very sad though. Oh, I liked those other rooms.
Some of those rooms are probably my doing, unfortunately. I apologize very much so.
Apology accepted. Though I do not believe that you are at fault.
Well,
You know,
if-
I actually would like to. How did you remove several rooms, Muna?
Well, if the prisoner has some effect to the rooms and I tore apart his very essence to get ice magic, then I feel somewhat responsible.
Well,
Oh, I
Muna,
see. This has been this. I have not checked on this room in quite a while, Muna. I do not know if this is something that has happened recently or not. I believe that this has happened whenever he was awoken from his imprisonment, not something that has happened recently.
Oh, then my apology is new.
Nope, I'm going to keep it.
So I'd like to circle back on glyphs. Is there a way that we can find it magically that you can think of?
Oh, there are many ways, yes.
Could you explain ones that novice magicians might be able to learn?
Novice magicians? Well, I don't believe you have any novice magicians with you.
Oh, thank you.
There's a wide smile going across her. She says that, like, yeah, she totally meant to be like, oh no, none of you are novices, ha ha ha. You know, it definitely felt like there was a nah, you guys are great.
She was making a joke. She was making a rip.
It's not a joke, Sorrel, it's truth.
That being said, if you're somehow able to attune yourself to that magic of the glyph, then perhaps you would be able to find it using some sort of a gem or a talisman or something of the such.
The gems. That reminds. I'll be right back.
Oh, there they go.
I'm not
Bye,
going.
Luna.
I'm not going far. I'm just going to the store.
All right, goodbye forever.
Muna, where are you going?
The store.
You're going to Macho or are you going to Everman's?
Macho, I believe, is the one she sold her jewelry to.
Okay. You make your way over toward where Macho is. I want to make sure we can get this done just in case your plan has to do with anything here. You would make your way off to Macho. As you do, you would find that he is currently washing the pan that he was using. Although, looking at it, it does seem that the water just sort of runs right off of it. As you make your way over to it, he looks to you. Oh, hello, welcome!
Hello, darling.
Did you enjoy your breakfast?
Oh, very much so. It was hard, though, because Gilgamesh liked it more than all of us combined. He had 7 bowls.
Oh! Well, I'm glad that I made 7th.
Oh, yeah, very excited. Did you know about his monstrous appetite?
I had a thought on it. I mean, it does seem that me and him both enjoy having a healthy amount of food.
Oh, that is good. That is good. I want to know if I could look at the jewelry that was sold to you the other day.
The jewelry. Oh, you mean Miss Rosa's?
Yes, I just want to look about them. I don't know if I'm gonna buy any right now, but I want to see if any of them are magical, and if they are, I'll buy them off you. If not, then...
Well, you see, I don't exactly, One moment, please. You see him go back over toward where the doors are to the animal area. He's just like, hey, Bosco, are you okay in there? Yeah, Dad, I'm just setting some stuff around. All right, you gonna be working for a bit? Probably. Okay, I'm just gonna keep the air in. As he just shuts the doors.
I'm just gonna keep the air in.
He then makes his way back over towards you. I'm actually not planning on selling any of those.
That's fine. That's fine.
I felt that it was very hard to take something from someone whenever they are selling something out of desperation. So I have them inside of a box, off to the sides, where it is safe. And I was going to sell them back to her if there was ever a chance or any sort of trades were to happen.
Okay, between you and me, the stuff I was gonna buy, I was gonna give to her too.
Oh, well that makes a lot of sense. I get that.
Yes, I was only gonna go look to see if there's any magical ones because between you and me, I think she may have a chance to learn magic.
Well, let me see here. You see him make his way over. You see him go into the large barrel of hay near him. He looks left, looks right, looks to you, puts a finger up like sheesh, and then reaches in and pulls out a box. He then makes his way back over to you and sort of opens it in front of on the thing here. You see some extravagant jewels. You see some nice looking chains, some nice looking rings and such of that. A lot of them don't seem to be all the things that she was wearing. There are some other things here, but you do see off to one side what appear to be the rings as well as the adornments that she was wearing. As he shows these off to you, he looks at them and then looks back to you. Is there any way for us to know if any of them were magical in some way or not?
I do have a bit of an instinct for it, so let's see if we can examine it together.
All right. I will do nothing because I don't know how to do it, but you will roll for magic.
All right
Roll.
then.
Roll now.
As Muna takes out her dice. It's Zion, what are you doing, darling?
It's over in the dice tower, by the way.
No, don't play with that. That's a lighter.
I still think it's funny that you have a cat named Zion and we're doing a Kingdom Hearts game. It's big funny.
Yeah. There's so many different spellings of Zion. Anyway.
But yeah, go ahead and use your dice. It is currently in the dice tower.
Just have to make sure Zion wasn't, teething on a lighter and getting lighter fluid everywhere.
That's
like
true, that's
inside of her. I wouldn't like that.
That's true, that's true.
Whoop.
That is a natural 20.
Hot damn.
Just win. Just win.
You look about
Just succeed.
You look about the things that are here. You do find that most of them are normal. That being said, they are in your world. They are at a level of purity that you potentially could enchant some of these things. That being said, the only one that's giving off much, at least on the side you're looking at, appears to be a necklace that you're looking at that seems to have a small amount of a pinkish, but then on the inside a reddish tinge. It appears to be a pink jewel necklace with a reddish tinge on the end or on the inside. You also note, as far as the other jewels he is holding, he seems to have what appears to be a ankh on the other side that seems to be giving off a very high amount of a necromantic energy.
Ooh.
But that is not something that was in the possession of Rosa.
Oh, that I have to look at. But this necklace, actually, show me that too.
Actually, I want that. Give me that. Give it to me.
How much for this necklace before I look at?
Well, as I mentioned before, I wasn't going to sell it. They were able to sell it to me for some things that they were wanting, beddings, some other soft adornments. They also got some teas and other things from me. If I were to put a price onto it, I would say it would be difficult to do such a thing. I would say that I would rather trade for anything here if you are planning on returning it to her. I really do not wish to take any of your money for these things.
I understand your sentiment.
So if you had anything for trade for this side, then I would be very obliged in doing so. But until then, I will keep them very safe for her.
I do have this gummy block, a few blood root, though I'm a bit disturbed by these actually. You can have these for free.
you want to hand off the blood roots?
Yes.
You see,
I don't want them anymore.
These make me feel bad inside.
How many do you have? Let's see.
I had 3. I put them on Muna's face.
Okay, I'll take them. As you hand off the 3 blood root to him, he looks to them, and then he looks toward the other things here. Upon taking the blood roots, he would then look toward the things that she has. Well, I don't think I would be great to give you this. Here, how about you take this for them then? As he goes to the other side, not toward one of her items, and he pulls out what appears to be a small, earring. As he brings it up to you, again with that 20 roll you just rolled, you know that is a very pure jewel. It's something that in your world is very hard to come by. In any sort of modern world, it is very easy to come by. But you can tell that this would be a very good item to potentially do some enchanting with.
Oh, I wonder if I can still use earrings. How does it look? Shows her earlobe.
He looks it over. He goes, it seems that that if you had any piercings there, the hole is closed up very well. I could try to aid you with that if you wish, so that it is not going to be painful.
Oh, I don't.
You see him. You see him motion toward his ear as you note that there is a place where you would put an earring.
I don't mind the pain, darling. I just want to make sure I have a home for this.
Of course. Here, come here.
All right.
As you would find, he would go to you. He would aid you in re-piercing your ear. You would find that it is well enough at this point. There's a tiny twinge of pain. You take your last HP and die.
Yay!
Except you have your full HP and shield and everything right now. And you were able to have a earring. Let me get you a token for it. It would be up here since you guys don't have any of them currently. Where are you at, you little thing?
I can't use all this cheese.
I'm sorry.
I can't use all this bloodroot.
I'm sorry you can't use all that cheese. There we go. Bloop. I will give you a full thing of it later, but right now it is just an earring. This is not something you'll be able to channel magic or anything through, so it's not like a weapon or anything. But you can have it as a equipable item here, and if you ever have anything to enchant onto it, we can. Why don't you go ahead and put into it? It is I'm gonna roll for a d6 real quick. Let's see here. Where is a good d6 I can use? I'll just use this d8 and then get rid of the rolls that are over a 6. That is a 7. I'm gonna roll again. That's a 3. Okay, this is a amethyst ring.
Ooh.
Is an amethyst earring. It is a small gem, but it is something that you could potentially have some kind of enchantment with. Is it D10? Yeah, I saw the 9s and things on it after I was rolling, but I already said it. Anyway.
It's unfortunate I don't have a lot on me for trading.
I'm sure that you'll be able to find something, and again, if not, this will be perfectly safe for her.
I understand. It's just we're going to her establishment soon, and I was thinking of it as a gesture for making sure she still looks the part when she goes home. But I'd probably wait until after everything. I'm not looking forward to bringing her home.
I can see why. You had all had many conversations and things that I don't entirely understand everything that was said, obviously, but I do worry for her, and I feel for her quite a lot.
You ever know someone is not good for someone, but you don't know how to let them see what you see?
You should have seen Bosco's ex-girlfriend.
Oh.
It was a whole mess.
Oh, do tell.
Well, I knew that from the first few interactions we had, they were not very good off for him, and unfortunately, he had to learn the hard way. He was in a position of rebelling at the time. He was around 12, and she broke his little heart.
Oh, come now, you're pouring me the most average tea. Give me the Earl Grey. Give me the green tea.
You want to give you the tea on my son's traumatic moments?
Yeah.
Well, there's. If you want more about it, then comes outside. What's going on out here? I heard my name.
We were just saying how I think you'd like this earring on me.
Yeah. All right,
Told you.
whatever. He just goes back in.
Weirdos.
Okay, I'll start with my goss first. He's gonna be suspicious if we talk his goss first. Let me tell you about.
So we're gonna go back to the others.
As she starts talking about royal family drama that could make period pieces, and talking about it like it's just gossip.
I had to make sure that
Succession.
nothing there in was going to tie into this. It does not seem so. So as Muna makes their way away, it does seem as if you guys are still left with the library keeper. She does answer your question though Hibiki, that you would need some sort of a gem or a talisman that would be attuned to the magic that is there if you wish to find it, if it is harder to find or has any defenses on it.
Okay.
So, to destroy it properly, we need talisman.
Well, to destroy it, no, you would just need to destroy the runes or the writing that is there. Depending on what it is written in, it may be difficult, but if you bring some soap or something, I'm sure it will be fine.
So,
I think it is inscripted into the door.
Oh, then it would be very easy. Just scratch it off.
But we don't actually know what it is on or anything like that, so we have to find it first.
Ah, I see. Well, if it is inscribed into something, like it is, maybe it was chiseled into something or drawn into something, then all you would need to do is destroy one of them or several of them by either etching something over it or using some kind of chisel or scratch that would destroy the patterns. If it is something that is drawn,
What if it was something like gummy block?
Oh, if it is something like that, then that would be very difficult.
Yeah, it would seem so.
Mm-hmm. Well, you would need to have gummy block to destroy it, or something to harvest said gummy block, I suppose. It would be difficult.
But
Though I believe that it would be very hard to inscribe something onto gummy block. For the same reasons as it would be difficult to destroy something inscribed in the gummy block.
I see. Though you did mention a potential for there to be multiple glyphs in one. Probably spread around.
If you were talking about runes, then runic language usually requires more than one rune. If that is how the glyph is being created through runic language, then you would need to destroy each of the different runes that is there, or at least the ones that pertain to what you're wanting to do. Glyphs, on the other hand, if it is just regular glyphs, there are several different connotations and different arrangements of the spell that would be used, but it is usually just one single image of things of that nature. Image does not come out, by the way.
I see.
Yeah, of course.
Then, if I were to describe the effect, would you be able to tell that we're a regular glyph or something that used runes?
Oh, no, not at all.
All right.
The things you can make with glyphs and runes and other such things are mostly immeasurable, especially in this world where there are different languages and different runic languages from all over and many different cultures that span over the entirety of the galaxy.
I see. If it were made with blood magic, would blood magic have a particular preference towards one or the other?
If it was made from blood magic, that means the rune itself would have been inscribed in blood, which would mean that I would bring some soap.
All right. It cut off a second there because of my internet, but I got the gist of it.
If it is something that is inscribed in blood, then in order to get rid of it, you would need to clean it or remove the blood in some way.
Okay.
When it comes to defending against blood magic, how does this world do that?
Well, I mean, again, it would depend on what kind of blood magic we are talking about. But from the fact that this entire world is a hodgepodge and a melting pot of all the different worlds throughout the galaxies that have fallen to darkness, you would find that blood magic itself is mostly just a catch-all term for things. I would say the same way you would defend against any magic at that point. Unfortunately, there are way too many nuances to say that anything would work. But if you were to perhaps have some kind of magical barrier about yourselves, then that would most likely be able to take in some of the efforts, or at least allow you to have some defenses against it. Basically, in character talking about if you have your shield up, then you have advantage on saves, so that's really good against any kind of magic.
Then how about the fairy dragon that had like the whole cult thing? Is that very specific with their blood magic?
The fairy dragon did the what now?
Was it the fairy dragon? Am I getting that right?
Ancient fairy dragon,
right.
yeah.
The fairy dragon, the Cherished, the one that had the sanguine blood cult with the vampires and stuff.
Oh, I'm sorry. I do
nothing?
not keep up with current events.
I would
It's
not
not-
call those current. I would call those very...
Those were before your prisoner was imprisoned events.
Fascinating.
You have no idea what we're talking about, do you?
I have no ideas, but it is fascinating to hear. How do I best bring this up? I do not care about most of the people in the world. So I do not keep up with any of their events.
Understandable.
Nothing's for a lot of people.
I can help you with any kind of magics or any kind of things of that nature that work with my expertise, but I do not really understand much on events, history, and whatnot that go on throughout here. Only the ones that I would know anything about were the ones that are around anything that I would have reign over, such as, again, the forests around the area. Because I have the blessing of the forest, I do know about certain people and certain beings that are inside of them, as well as certain groups of people like that. As well, I do know about some of the things that relate to my own unfortunate situations, as well as my sister's. I understand a little bit of the of things of my prisoner and the one that imprisoned them, though not much. And that's really about it.
Do you know why his person is specifically ripping him apart and putting him back together like a book?
Oh, because they are going to be used as a book.
What does that mean?
Well, whenever my prisoner is at a position where he has lost his will to continue, all of the knowledge and all of the experiences that they have accumulated over the time of their life will be as easy to read through as a book. From start to finish. No, it is very uncommon. It is a fascinating spell that has been placed upon them.
Looking around the library that they're standing on.
Do you know?
I'm sure it has been used before. I do not understand it or know of it if it has, but it is a fascinating spell.
You wouldn't have to know specifically why it was used. What information could possibly be sought after for such a extreme spell?
I would say you'd have to talk to the one that imprisoned them about that. I do not have any idea of their motivations, though, again, with someone like our prisoner, they know very much about magical things and very much about the world, so I'm guessing that the knowledge they have would be a waste to have be gone upon their death. That is what I would think, at least, if that is the case. If I hated someone so desperately that I wanted to know everything and anything that could possibly that they would possibly have, while also breaking their will, then it would be something that would be very much on par with this kind of torture.
There's very little I can find to refute this.
I would give one thing to my prisoner. I would believe that most people would have already became a book by now.
This feels like something Zonde would have done. Huh. He would never intentionally do it.
He kind of just, he just turns back towards the spell, the whole bit, just like with a very like concerned expression. Like, I see.
Well, this is certainly giving us something to think about.
When it comes to the prophecy that you had mentioned before, the idea that this place would open at the end of the world or whatever, I honestly believe most of that to be coincidence. Or at least somebody had made the prophecy and took some mundane things to mean other things. The world ending, of course, being sort of alluded to by the Heartless attack, and the opening because of the Heartless attack and the ending of the world was merely coincidence because you had a Keyblade wielder with you who opened it up for you. Mostly this place was sealed away so that nobody would get to the spell.
That makes sense.
So I do not understand much about the ancient Cherished belief in this place, but perhaps they knew something we knew not.
Would there be any way to find records of this?
A lot of records have been taken even from this place, which is very frustrating. I believe that if you were to know much about the ancient Cherished, you would probably have to speak with one of them.
Akron is not keen on speaking at the moment.
Well, there are many more. There are many more than them.
Said than done.
There are many more ancient Cherished here than that one. The term ancient Cherished is just for those who have not, well, at least for quite a while, turned into an egg. The older you get, Cherished do not die of old age. So when it comes to a lot of the ancient Cherished out there, you would just have to find someone that has lived throughout most of time, or at least the time of this world. I believe that currently, you see them close their eyes behind the mask, which seems to somewhat have the green light that is making up the mask also close. Think of like a Spider-Man kind of mask thing.
Yeah,
Which also
like
means now that
on.
which also means now that you've noticed this, that they have not blinked since you've been talking to them. I just want you to think on that. Anyway.
The fuck is wrong
Get
with
this girl some eye drops, damn.
I love that she's just so specific on when she will expand on something and when she fucking won't.
As she closes her eyes, yes, I believe that there is at least 3 others you can speak to.
And
You happen to know where those 3 are?
Oh,
Or
I
who
have
they
no idea
are,
anybody about them. Like I said before, I do not understand current events.
You
Right.
simply have the numbers. There are 3 somewhere?
Around 3, maybe more, maybe less. But I believe there should be
In the
around 3.
area of Cherish, or like in the...
Oh, on this world, yes.
Okay. That feels... That actually helps a lot and also very little. Thank you.
If I were to put any sort of idea on them, I would say that none of them are in any sort of civilized place you would have to find. I do not see any of them being able to live throughout something like that. So if you were to find a Cherish, you would find someone away from a major city, somewhere in a place of great power, most likely.
Don't mistake it for the place with great responsibility, though. That's a different place.
so let's see. So,
I'm
Be
sorry that
honest,
there's
I-
not more that I can tell you.
what you have given is distressingly helpful.
I will remind
Well-
you, Gilgamesh, that you might know one of them because of
Yeah.
your talkings with Fali.
Yeah. Hmm. To the northwest. Do you know of the geography of this world?
Oh, that one. No, I was more meaning the one they mentioned to you specifically when you found Philly.
Which direction is that?
They had mentioned that there was some kind of a friend or friendly-esque creature that they had met whenever they had first came to Cherished. That is most likely a Cherish that they wanted you to go and find at some point.
Which was in what direction again?
The east.
East. Right, sorry. Eastward. The far east. Do you know what regions lie there?
The Starter City, where people have been made to bring themselves because of the gummy train, is off in that direction. It is one of the largest cities on Cherish. There is also the Great Desert off in that direction, as well as the Elven population who live inside of the desert. There is a large mountain range, and then there is the large forested area where there are vines that are larger than even the largest of buildings that seem to be making their way out from a large lake in the center of which there is a huge volcano.
That's a lot.
I believe there are at least 3 locations to find this one challenge.
As for the northwest, as you mentioned before, there is only a small city in that direction, as well as a large set of glaciers and other things along the northern edge, and the large mountains that apparently house a god.
That also feels like a potential other place. I don't know.
I go and have
gosh.
some hot gossip with people for 5 seconds, and you guys get to hear where the god is.
I mean,
Yes.
earlier, Moon, if you remember, whenever you were in this place the first time, you felt a strong power that kind of reminded you of Hades off to the northeast or the northwest.
I did, and now there's confirmation.
Oh my
and
god,
I'm not
Hades
even
2 over
there.
there. Maybe we can meet that chick that's been playing in the trailers.
I was more
Oh, yeah.
meaning that they felt like Hades and the fact that there was most likely a godly being. But yes.
Hades, we're done with bisexuality. Now it's time for bisexuality.
So this god in the northeast, what is its name?
I don't know.
Amazing.
It doesn't seem like anything I should care about.
Hmm. Do you know anything about this deity type creature?
I have heard that they are in the northeast, which would most likely mean somewhere inside of the mountains. I would assume that we're in the mountains because I know for a fact they're not in the forest to the north, because that is a forest, and I know about those.
Indeed.
But mountains and glaciers are very much not a forest.
I know mountains, though, so there won't be any issues there.
The only one that would know more about something like that would be one of my sisters.
Which are currently missing.
Well, one's missing.
Trapped, imprisoned, missing, yes.
All 3.
Well, technically not all 3, but at least 2.
Right, of course. So, another thing that we might need to look into if we're going to progress anything in saving this world.
I would very much appreciate it, though I have nothing in return to give you.
I mean, you do have the gift that you gave me, so I mean that's also something.
Oh yes, but you were very mean about it.
Here, you were mean about
I
it.
am sorry about that. It's.
Hey, Ricky. You can't go around stealing other people's
fully
gifts.
confirmed.
Oh,
It's like when you killed that Bulbasaur, dude. You're a straight up villain.
I am sorry about that.
Oh, it is no problem whatsoever.
you do have something worthwhile. You have this library full of knowledge, and some of it is missing.
Yes.
Were we to figure out some way to restore it, we could have unlimited access to what's inside.
You could, and very much you would also be able to find out more and more about this place as it is. My own magics are connected and primarily to the library. So the stronger this library gets, the stronger I will be. And most likely, the more that I will remember.
Right.
You're connected to the library? I thought you were connected to forests.
Well, this is my library. I was given a gift from the forest, you silly.
No part of this is difficult to understand, Grunt.
So when you say the library, what do you mean by...
I'm gonna side with PBK. I actually have to think for a little bit.
What do you...
Poor unmagicked simpleton.
So
the best way that I can put it for you is that this library is mine. It is something that I find myself bound to, as well as my sisters. Though that does not mean that I could not leave and do other things. And one time when I left and did another thing, I got the aid of the forest. So one thing led to another, but not the other way around.
And this library has always been
mine
yours?
And my sisters, yes. At least as far as I can remember.
As far as you can...
Yes.
Meaning that you are essentially as old as the library being on Cherished?
As far as she can remember.
Yes. I kind of came into being similarly to the Cherish. Though I do not believe I am a Cherish. Me and my sisters came into being exactly as you see me now.
Interesting.
Oh, you mean you came as an egg? All right, I understand now.
Mm-hmm. And people wish to kill me for my blessing.
Oh.
That's still so weird to think about that you're... It's so weird that they want to kill you for your blessing. I'm
gonna pat Hibiki. It's alright, Hibiki.
You're essentially as old and technically as important as any ancient Cherish would be, then. Why would they see you as someone to kill for a power?
Oh, is this world not off? Wouldn't someone in this world kill Cherish to try and take their powers as well?
Oh, many people have killed Cherish. And destroyed their eggs. It's terrible.
Is there a point to destroy the egg if they can't reproduce? Do they really just want to make them extinct?
Some people destroy eggs because they worry what they may remember whenever they hatch, such as if they were done crimes against. So, for say if I were to do a crime on Zarel, and then Zarel wakes up and tells people of the crime, then that means that I would get in trouble. Though if I killed Zarel, turned them into an egg, and then destroyed the egg, there is no problem there. Because I will no longer get in trouble.
Please don't turn me into an egg and kill me.
Oh, I would never. That is terrible.
Oh, thank you.
Wheels turning in his head now about the fact that Taka is dead.
So, the typical human reasoning for doing anything, then.
I believe that there would also be other things. Technically, Cherish cannot die, so you cannot use them for sacrifices or anything like that in any sort of ritual or godly acts. But if you were to destroy an egg, that is essentially killing a Cherish. So I believe that would be something that would be on people's mind as well. If there was any power gained through sacrifice, the only way to do that to a Cherish is to destroy their egg. Or maybe they wish to know what an egg tastes like of a Cherish.
No.
There are many things that could be that could be a reason as to why they would destroy an egg. It is just not very good to do so because they are not able to repopulate. At least from what we understand as of right now.
But eating one?
I mean, I figure if you were making it,
You just had eggs over there.
It, honestly, but
you just had eggs over there.
An egg.
Points over toward Gilgamesh's plate he brought with him.
Yeah, it's like on one hand, it's like I don't like thinking about it, but there's eggs right here. We ate it today.
So he just needs a moment. He can brace himself against the fucking table, think about it.
This is how people go vegan.
You would never eat me, right, Hibiki?
I would never want to do that to any single person ever. That's fucked up.
that's not what I
Do you
asked.
think chickens remember what they do when they eat them?
I don't want to think about it, Sorrel.
Meanwhile, Gilgamesh just while thinking, picks up one of their eggs and just eats it. Nom nom nom.
No, Gilgamesh is thinking about his entire history up to this point. It's just,
They'd be a sacrifice at that point.
Snacrifice.
Oh, man.
Man, I would never eat people. That's so weird.
We'll say at this point that Muna would return.
Just sees he bent over the table a little bit, like. Ew.
It's all right,
Muna returns, new earring in their
It's all
ear,
right.
just hanging out.
Hey,
Blood
everybody.
trickling.
No,
Oh, do we have any more eggs?
Muna, we have thought about it, and I wish to bring the information to you and see what you think about it.
Alright.
What do you think a cherished egg would taste like?
Come on.
Well, I've had ostrich egg before.
Well, I mean, an ostrich is probably like a bigger bird, right? I don't think it's a guy.
Maybe it tastes like. As strange as this would sound, maybe it'd be like a mixture of egg and veal?
This is an
Well, why do
upsetting
we-
conversation.
Why do we ask this hypothetical?
What's important?
They were wanting to know all the different reasons for someone to want to destroy a cherish egg.
I remain unsurprised.
Ugh. Yeah, that sounds like something my father would do. Ugh.
Some kind of exotic egg? Put it inside my mouth.
Your father should probably stop eating unborn infants. It might make people upset.
As Gilgamesh eats another piece of egg.
Unborn infant.
I'm playing.
He really liked to eat his panda veal.
Oh my god!
I don't know what that is, but it doesn't matter. What matters is that we still need to find some cherished eggs, and perhaps rebuild a flying ship powered by light. Oh, and probably do something else about that person in that big house or whatever.
If you are worried about an egg being potentially served as some kind of a delicacy or something, you should probably make sure that that person doesn't do that.
Yes, we will kill them.
I will say, most likely they would not be serving such an egg for just any meal. It would be considered a delicacy to whoever wants to eat it. So they would most likely wait for a specific special reason to do so.
Oh, he's waiting.
Either a wedding or the eve of ritual. I'm trying to think of a messed up way of
I'm
saying
gonna
it.
interrupt you thinking about any more of those, making me feel worse by also feeling worse about another thing. So, what is the significance of seven lights?
Your wedding, we're gonna eat out your
If you happen to
dad.
know any significance of that?
7 lights?
Yes.
7 lights. 7 lights. Why is that so familiar?
Let's see.
Well, just
The
want a familiar
sun,
friend.
electricity.
Apparently,
Well, the number
someone
7 seems to keep repeating. Yes.
the a person that we're going after seems to be very hung up on it, and he's done blood rituals before. So perhaps a ritual about 7 lights that helps jog your memory.
It does, actually. If it is a ritual of 7 lights, it is hard to keep my head on it, but for some reason, every time I think of 7 lights, I must think of the number 13 as well.
Why would you have to think about the number 13?
I believe there is something to do with the 7 lights and the number 13. Though,
Oh yeah!
What, 20?
though I cannot think of what it would mean.
Well, it wouldn't be 13 shadows because there's only 7 lights.
I do not know.
What? Do you know something called Kingdom Hearts?
Oh, you mean like the Twinkle Twinkle?
Yeah.
Not exact same.
Twinkle Twinkle Kingdom Hearts.
You're so fucking proud of that, and I hate you so much. I fucking hate you so much.
I believe that is a popular song in this world.
What is Kingdom Hearts? Is it a place, an idea? Is it poetry, or is it real?
Yes.
That hasn't answered a single thing I said.
Are you sure?
I believe it is to some people all of those things. Though I myself do not know much on it. It is an idea, something of great significance to some, though just out of reach, always forever away. Something that is something. You see them for a moment, they seem to grab their head. What?
It's some kind of panacea.
Something that. It is. Lovely. Very lovely.
Well,
Lovely.
a heart usually is of love, but it can also be of heartbreak.
It is very lovely, but I cannot know why.
Perhaps, I'm just taking a wild guess here. Maybe the light is perhaps a metaphor of love, and the 13 are of hatred. So perhaps 7 loves, which cause 13 hatreds, because hatred seems to be more prevalent, but love, despite being few, is the one that prevails. Something corny like that.
I do not
You've
know.
just said absolute nonsense. I despise human ideas of philosophy.
I do
I
not
also
know.
despised it.
What I do know is that it is something that is in my mind, but something that I cannot access.
You know,
It seems
If
like you're
we're
having a
not-
lot of memory
In
issues.
a way, it's like friendship.
Perhaps it is like the One Piece. No, anyway.
if for no other reason,
Oh, that's
disprove.
like that thing that we read. I
Yeah,
remember
yeah,
that.
If for no other reason than to disprove whatever the witch had just babbled on about for too long, if we access more of this library, will the secrets of this place be revealed? Would Kingdom Hearts be among them?
Most likely not. Though, if you do make this library larger, perhaps I'll remember more, as I mentioned before.
How can we make it larger? Looks to gummy block, places it on the door.
As I mentioned before in the very beginning of our conversation, I believe that whatever this void is just outside of this door is tied to our prisoner. If our prisoner gets stronger, perhaps that void will disappear, and the remainder of the library will make its way back to us.
So to get your memory back, we must break your prisoner out.
I do not know if I should allow that, but
We
at the same time, I can't stop it, so sure.
maybe at least strengthening their magic. Well, I'll have to increase my own magic in order to do that.
I do not think I am a very good warden.
Oh,
I mean,
it's
you are
fine.
here by force, so
Well, you're a warden without any reason to, well, ward. If you knew this book was a serial killer, then of course you'd be more protective, but
Would I?
Would she?
I mean, yes. Sure. Yes. Because that is correct.
if they were a book ripper,
Oh, that would be terrible. And they deserve everything they're getting.
there we
God,
go.
I've just this woman has been on Cherished since the library was here, so from ancient times has not given a single fuck about the inhabitants of this world. Most likely due to the fact they've been trying to kill her for her force power.
Well, that's not true. She, of
I'm
course,
just
cares.
saying, man. She's like, yeah, this song's a very popular song here. And then we have over here Michelle being like, they're the only way that man could do that fucking song 40 years ago.
So
I'm just thinking like a radio, like a cover of someone like over singing like "Twinkle Twinkle Kingdom Hearts."
I fucking hate Mariah
Like,
Carey.
every time it's like Crossmas, it's like that song in the
Crossmas.
store.
Is that what that K-pop Kirin Cherish is doing over there?
God damn it. I fucking can't.
It's
This world is so
retail's
silly.
nightmare.
Everything is a cross or an X. That definitely isn't happening in the real world.
Yeah, that would be fucking dumb. Anyway,
Oh no, the bluebird died.
Oh no! How did that happen? Anyway, let's go back. Let's go deeper into the
I saw-
fucking.
Okay, quickly. I
No,
saw this
no.
in-
Let's not.
Aw.
Let's not go into it. Let's keep on. Let's keep going on. We only have a limited
back
time.
on track. So, well, you've been a font of help somehow today.
Oh, thank you.
Hmm.
You've been here with me, talking with me.
Yes, that is what's been happening. Now, Lonnie, we should take the time we have and make use of it. I am not keen to keep standing around talking all day, so
Oh,
Where
then
do
I
we
will.
go
Then I
first?
will aid you. They
Mhm.
step over towards you, and then they step through the wall. They are gone now.
Oh,
Goodbye.
Power.
meaning
Anyway.
there will be no more talking with them because they are gone.
Better yet, just like
hmm.
there we go, gone.
Let's hop. Hmm. I suppose that helps. Now, what should we do first? There's quite a lot to accomplish here if we're going to get anywhere. My prerogative right now would be either gathering those cherished eggs, as I agreed to do, or finding the remains of that ship and having it rebuilt.
I do think the Cherished Egg quest seems to be of note. And also something that we can do while going back to the mansion. If we could find Taka's egg.
If my memory serves right, people usually think they're stronger in larger groups. It's never helped them against us in the past, but perhaps here things would be different, especially if I'm involved on the other side for once.
Of course, we have our own dragon. What do they have?
A giant heartless monster thing and an entire army of guards, both normal and not.
Did you
Or when you
see
put it
how
like
many
that.
breakfasts this man ate? 7. 7 bowls.
And there was not nearly enough to satisfy me.
And do you have any heart problems right now?
Why would I have any heart problems of any
And
kind?
no heart problems.
Imagine Gilgamesh learns what diabetes is, and he's like, "What? That can happen?"
Bread makes you fat?
What do you mean the yolks aren't good for you?
This is bullshit.
Ham gives you gout? What do you mean?
It's like that episode of Futurama where Bender becomes human.
Yep. Sorry.
What do you mean standing in the sun isn't good for your skin?
At this
Anyway.
point, do you guys want to have any other conversations with people around, or do you guys want to try to make your way back toward the manor? You guys have unlimited access to it, or you guys can try to make yourself somewhere else. From what you were just told, when it comes to Taka's egg, potentially it has the chance of being devoured, since you know the person doesn't want it hatching and then them saying all the crimes they did to it. At the same time, you guys know that the wedding is hopefully not going to happen immediately. It is up to you guys where you what you guys want to do, when you guys want to do it. But if you want to try to find that rune or that glyph, then you would need to attempt to start looking for it. Even if it is invisible, perhaps you could find out if it is or not.
So,
Hmm.
I honestly want to.
You can
I
also,
do
you
wanna
can also
get-
just talk to some peeps and try some other stuff. You can definitely do some other things.
I kind of want to learn some more skill cards before anything, really.
You could try.
Because, I feel like we need a little more bang for our buck here.
If you do remember, whenever I had told you about the training before with this man's, it is going to be hard for him to go full ham on teaching you guys some things. That is dojo. However, he was able to potentially allow to teach you guys some other aspects of your own skills currently. So while you may not be able to get full new cards from him right now because there's not nearly enough time unless you guys tell me you're spending like a week doing this.
Yeah, okay.
But he could potentially unlock other aspects of your cards.
I would not be opposed to learning whatever this enchantment is, not the throwing one for strike, because I'm never using that.
Don't you want to throw your axe, man?
Maybe, but it doesn't have the thrown property. It's a duelist weapon.
That's true.
If it just says add thrown to anything you eat, then yes. I would improv fight the fuck out of this.
If you guys would like to spend another day doing some training, we definitely could do so. This would have to be a consensus from all of you, though, to do something like that. And then we will have you guys roll and see what all I can allow from things. You guys will either at that point gain something from one of your cards, or, you know, get some progress on that, or you guys will be able to get some other kind of benefit from training.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds good to me.
It is up to you guys if you want to spend another day doing that.
Yeah, man, let's keep getting ripped. Let's go.
Training.
All right.
So with this, is it only for red cards? Can he teach us things on all kinds of cards?
He can teach you things from all kinds of cards.
Oh, Christ.
Yeah. This guy's pretty heckin' cool.
Okay,
you guys make your way out.
Someone write Dojo on the list too.
You guys make your way out to find him. Luckily, he is around here. You guys find him over at the cemetery area, just kind of like looking around, doing some, from what you can tell, just some random training of his own. You guys would see his kind of training more of like what you would assume like a martial arts or monk kind of training would be. He would reiterate what I just told you. Basically, he would not be able to teach you guys any new moves in any short amount of time. However, he could potentially help you out with anything you feel that you are lacking in. At this point, if you guys would like to, tell me in order what cards you guys want to try to mess about with. We're going to start off with Hibiki. What are you thinking, Hibiki? What would you like to try to unlock here?
The door to darkness.
You could try to unlock the first part of your dash. You could try to unlock the 3 things in your roll, the 2 things in your arrow, or the 2 things in your strike.
Honestly, why not try the first thing in dash?
You want to try the first thing in dash? You don't know what it is, are you sure?
Is it not worth it?
Who knows, man?
Why are you guys making that voice so you do? Whatever.
Fine, I'll do a thing and roll. Fuck it, let's get all my.
I'm not trying to get you to go to something else, Emerald.
Let's do roll. I like the idea of the enchantment.
Okay. If you want to try to work on your enchantment, you can. What about you, Muna? What are you trying to work on as far as your abilities are concerned? For example, a lot of your things right now should be marked off, but for some reason they're not. So I'm gonna lock them so I can mark them. Looking at your stuff right here. Gonna draw on some of these. Blah, 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 blah. You don't have your flow in this section, so this is not here. You don't have your combine in this section, so this is not here. You don't have these 2 over here. Those are already knocked out. And of course, you don't have any of these last 3 things on your roll. And finally, your dash is already there. Would you like to try to learn anything from the things you are missing here? Which one would you like to try to learn?
I want to learn enchantment on either fire or blizzard.
Which one?
Enchantment.
Which one? On fire or blizzard?
Shit. I could read this one. I can't read this one.
That's
so.
True.
Oh no, I forgot about it. How dare you take advantage of my memory like this? Fire would be really cool. Like, imagine if, like, Gilgamesh has a fucking fire fist, just boosh, and he has fire titans going. Boosh. And Darrell has a fire smile going.
Yeah, get that.
In character, I think she would be working on Blizzard because that's her new ability.
Okay. So you want to try to go for the enchant on that?
Yes, even though I don't know what it is. Let's see.
Okay. That is a tier 2 card, so it might take longer to work on that one. Are you still fine with that?
Sounds fair. What am I rolling?
We're not rolling anything quite yet. I'm just trying to guess what everybody is going to go for. Speaking of which, Zarel, what about you?
Time to use all my brains. So you just like choose one of these and then one of them below them?
Basically, anything you would like to try to work on these cards, just let me know what it is. Currently, you have everything that is not marked off is something you can just do, you have. So you can work on the environment for your roll, the burst for your roll, the blitz for your roll, enchant for your water, the flow for your water, the protect for your water, the flow or combine for your strike. You can work on any of those things, or the same thing over in dash. You can work on the either of the 3 that's there.
Yeah. I'm cooking with my brain. Come on, let's
Doing
see.
that brain cook, doing
I'm
the cooking.
cooking.
Cooking with Clarence.
It's such a hard thing to think every day. Let's see.
How dare they make me think on things all the time?
How dare they make me think?
How dare they make me think in front of my...
Just any of these, right? So just anything that calls to me.
Yep. Any of the ones that are on your cards that are marked off.
Well, I see protect on red, so that's where my brain's gonna go for the water card, which would be very nice because I usually don't know what to do with the water card.
You can definitely do that if you'd like to. I'm marking
Hell
off
yeah.
all the things on Gilgamesh's as well. That way we can just kind of have it, because right now I just kind of marked off what they were called, so environment burst and whatever, and that doesn't make a lot of sense to do such a thing. So you're gonna work for your protect on your water card.
Yeah.
And Gilgamesh, what about you? What are you wanting to work on? Over on your cards here.
Honestly, just trying to figure out what flow and combine mean for this card.
That's why I marked them off.
Yeah, I guess.
I believe on your strike the flow was the throw you didn't like.
Yeah. No, I think combine was like free enchant, which which isn't that.
You can also work on things on your dash as well.
What does blitz mean for roll?
It has it's a blitz. It's the blitz on the blitzo, blitzy blitz, blitzing through the blitzo, blitz.
I need to learn blitz so I can get rid of those filthy machina. And their fucking owl bedmaster. Oh yeah, little Brits, bro.
It's up to you, man.
Well, they don't try blitz. Why not?
You're gonna go for blitz on your roll?
Yeah.
Alrighty. As each of you are doing this, this is going to be a roll for all of you. This is a community roll. If we have to have you guys pass this, and if the collective of you guys pass, then each of you are gonna get what you wanted. If the collective of you guys fail, then I'm gonna give you a different bonus for training, but it will not be an unlock on your stuff. This is a way we're gonna keep everybody on relatively the same power level for this. So each of you, if you are going for what you are going for, I would like for all of you to roll me for your experience, please.
Come on, we can do it, gang gong.
That's no.
What'd you get?
12.
5.
5 and 12 so far.
11.
11 so far. 10 so far. I would remind each of you.
So average.
I will remind each of you. You all have one reroll if you would like to do them in per game.
Yes.
I will also do it.
All right.
I'll keep my 12.
That's a 15 now.
9.
Actually, you know what? I'll roll it. I feel like we're somehow doing worse.
Another 10! That's 13 altogether. That's 13.
You'd like to
for
use
me.
yours as well, Zarel?
Yeah, 2.
All right. So the highest from each of you, Gilgamesh had a 15. Zarel had a 12. What did the two of you have the highest?
I had 11.
And last?
13.
Okay.
Oh yeah, 11 plus what?
This is your experience.
12.
Ooh. Ooh.
Offense.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Wow.
Thank you.
Ew.
I would say this. You guys pass.
How the fuck is that
Ew.
statistically possible?
As I
Well,
meant,
we rolled statistically higher than average.
yeah. You guys
Hmm.
each got over a 10. Some of you got decently over a 10.
Man.
So, going over each of them, let's go over the blitz for roll here. Bloop. Over here with Gilgamesh, after dodging an attack using any action from this card, you can attempt a counterattack, dealing 1d4 physical damage without using a reaction. This will injure movement, however. So basically, as you are doing anything on here to dodge, if any attack misses you, then you are able to retaliate against them without using a reaction. They go to hit you or do something with you while you're moving, you go, fuck you, bam, hit them off.
So does it mean I need to specifically dodge it, or if something intercepts that attack and it misses me?
It's basically using any action on this card. So if you look at the other actions you have up here, the 2 AP to attempt to dodge for a round, basically just having like a dodge thing for that round, or the extra movement action that you guys have been using a lot for enemies having disadvantage on trying to hit you. If they miss you because of that, you can retaliate against them. So if you try to leave their spot, they miss you with their disadvantage attack, you can then hit them again, though that will injure movement right there. If you decide
But I get to
do
hit
that.
them again.
But you get to hit them again, exactly.
What about environment? Why don't you show me that one real quick? While you're over here.
I will. You know what? I will let you have the option. I'll let you have the option. If you want to, you can choose one of these two. Then, are you sure environment's going to be the other one you want to look at?
To be honest, I don't do a lot of running, so I don't know. Yeah, fuck it. Sure, why not?
Would you rather have the blitz, which is the dodging attack, or would you like to have, by rolling against a wall, object, or enemy, you can attempt to bounce off that surface and jump up to 3 hexes away, either in the ground or in the air. An enemy has a chance to attack you or grab you with a reaction upon doing this. So you can attempt to roll and then get an extra 3 hexes if you bounce off of something.
I just springboard off of somebody.
Yeah, dude.
That's fucking hilarious. Can I do that on an ally?
Says off of a surface, object, or enemy. So I could say if you choose to think of your friends as objects, sure.
Zarel, hold
He's
up
a
your shield.
dragon. Of course he does.
I mean, I still like Blitz more right now, but that is noted.
Okay, I will
But
bring this over. That way we know that that's something you can potentially get. But you have your blitz. Going to Zarel, which one did you want again? You wanted the protect, right?
I can
Just like Gilgamesh, I'll give you the option upon seeing this to look at something else. But protect, you erect a water barrier on a target that adds a +10 shield and removes a basic status effect of your choice. So you could get rid of like a poison or like something like that. The target cannot get shield more than once from this as a combat, so you can only use this once a combat per target.
This works.
It's pretty good. Would you like to look at anything else?
I can make this work.
Would you like to look at anything else?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Muna, you wanted your Blizzard. Because of this, I will say that, again, like I said, this would be a harder thing for you to learn because this is a tier 2 card. I'm going to say you are making some progress on this. Would you like to look at another thing, though?
It would either be this or enchant fire, so
Let me show enchant fire here. Enchant fire, add 1d6 of damage and a +1 onto a target's weapon attacks for the rest of combat unless removed. So it's just like a permanent enchant you can throw on somebody for a combat.
yeah. Let's keep the progress to Blizzard.
Okay, let me just mark off this, and we will come back to that at a later date potentially. As for the progress on Blizzard, we will put beside of this, just so we know, you have a... Oh, it is not locked in. You need to lock your shit in. That wasn't locking it. That was twisting it around and being all silly. We're gonna say beside of this, you have a bloop. If we were to have you train one more day, then perhaps you can learn your Blizzard.
Hey guys, can I train one more day, please?
And then we go over here. Yours was what again?
Mine was roll for, I thought it was enchantment, but now I find out it's environment. And my cards came like this. I'm just gonna say that my cards came with the,
Yeah, don't
the
worry about
words
that.
blocked out.
Yeah, don't worry about that. How about you don't give a hoot, huh?
I don't give a hoot. I just think it's funny. I can't know what they're called. I just know what they do.
Stop looking.
Yeah.
Go away. Stop looking at these. Nobody can look at them. No, get out of here. Get out of here.
Fine.
Nobody can
I want to
see
see it
these.
anyway.
No one can see them. They're all gone now. Everything's gone. No one has access to it. Not a single one of you jerks got them.
Hooray.
But no. What was yours?
Mine was environment.
Okay, we will reveal environment, rolling to a wall, yada yada yada, bouncing, doing the bounce bounce. Would you like to look at something else?
Nope, I'm good with environment.
Okay, you now have your environment on your roll. Good
It's
job.
great because I have 2 green stamina, so I can be like, motion environment.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Clap, 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 clap.
Oh,
Clap, 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 clap.
You did it.
All right.
I bounce off a surface and I shoot them in midair.
That being said, you guys would go to bed that night. This one would be a much more rigorous training since this is something that you guys are wanting to awaken or like learn more of yourself. So as you guys would go to bed that night and awaken the next day, you would awaken in a similar fashion, just going to bed in a bit of a huff and a bit of a tired mess. Upon waking up and having the morning again come for you guys, do you guys want to do another training or are you guys good for the day?
I want to do another training. For no reason.
This is something that everybody has to agree on. Would you guys like to wait another day?
Well, I don't want Will to have nice things, so...
Damn, you're right. Okay, all right, yeah, we can do one more. We can do one more just for you.
I'm down for
Yeah,
one more.
as
yeah.
a treat.
All
As a
right.
treat.
We will then say, for each of you, you guys can choose which one you're wanting to try to unlock. Will, you're going to be on the Blizzard train.
Yeah.
I need everyone to roll me once again for your experience.
Boys, let's roll slightly higher than average, but not that much above average.
I got 15 again.
Hey.
5.
Hey.
16.
Hey.
Yeah.
And Muna.
I got an 8.
Okay.
I
So,
had fun.
if we combine all your numbers, if we go into the group roll, 2 of you got substantially over a 10, which is good. 1 of you got very, very low, which is bad, but is somewhat taken back from it. I'd say overall, you guys have had a positive. Because again, if we put 5 from the 15 into Zarel's, that makes both of them a 10. If we took the 6 from Hibiki into the 8, that would make that a 10. However, there's still 4 points left over, so technically, all of you rolled an 11. Good job.
Hey.
Good job, guys. Good
Yay,
job.
we did it.
Getting carried.
Hey.
Good job, guys. Good job. And again, later on, these things may become harder, but you also have higher stats at that point. So we will start with Muna.
Here we go.
Just so
It's up
Muna,
in Inuyasha.
you were trying for 2 days to get this. You will get your enchant. Let me mark off the other things though, so you can't see them.
Ooh.
You can add a +3 onto a target's weapon for 3 turns. If struck by fire damage, this bonus is removed unless a barrier is up. However, basically, you are giving a weapon a +3. This is a +3 to attacks and a +3 to damage. It is a very good enchant.
Fucking God.
That being said, Hibiki, what were you trying to unlock?
You know what? Let's go with I guess burst for dash.
You want to go burst? Bloop.
Yeah.
You would find yourself, if you use any amount of mana while using your basic movement or the motion effect of this card, you gain 1 hex of movement per mana used.
Oh, so I could get even more speed out of this card. Okay,
Yeah.
that's okay. Well,
That's
on top of already having multiple ways of getting increased movement speed, oh my god, I'm a speed
Go
demon.
fast,
Would you like to
boy,
look at
go
anything else?
fast.
How about blitz for this card?
If you want to look at the blitz, bloop. Let me just do that. If you're looking at the blitz, if you use the motion or burst effect of this card, attacks made against you have advantage. If those attacks still miss, you can counterattack without using a reaction. So if you are really confident in your dodging ability, they will have advantage on their attacks, but if those attacks still miss, you have basically unlimited reactions.
Fuck. Honestly, high risk, high reward. Let's go with Blitz.
Okay.
I see you're a gambling man with your frail body.
You will not have
You
the
love
burst effect of this
gambling.
card. That means you only do it when you're using the motion, which is basically just the extra 4 movement. That's so whenever you use a dodge, or not a dodge, whenever you use a dash action, you are gonna have the ability to, if anybody attacks you after that use, you'll have unlimited advantage on that turn if they miss.
So question.
What's that? You're basically doing a reckless dash at that point.
Question
What's
then. Because I'm the funny man with 2 green stamina. Can I go motion blitz?
Yeah.
For a full action?
Yeah.
So it basically becomes a straight roll from the
No,
advantage?
here's the thing. You don't need to do anything for Blitz. Blitz is passive.
Blitz is passive?
If you use the motion or burst effect of this card, this is activated.
Oh my god. Okay,
Yeah,
then so
Blitz
I
is
did
passive.
so motion, I can do something else too. Awesome. Okay.
Yep,
This is perfect. I love this. I love this a lot.
If you ever think a card is slightly underpowered for anything, just think it's most likely passive.
Yeah.
So this
Yeah.
has a thing of if this activates, you do this. So that is why that's a passive on you.
Gotcha.
All right. We go to Zarel. What are you looking at?
Let's see. My beautiful brain must choose things now. Give me flow and strike.
Flow and strike. If any of your attacks with this card use the thrown keyword, the weapon returns to you. You do not need to roll to catch your weapon if your attack roll was over a 12.
Just an attack. This
Do you
is
want
not as
to-
useful for.
Do you want to look at the other?
Yeah.
After striking with this card, you may use 4 mana to add a magic enchant you possess onto your strikes this turn.
All 4 mana, which is all of
What
us.
These mana costs are very steep for what they're doing.
This one is literally you can use any enchant you have. This is going to gain power as the game goes on.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Well, it is much more useful than the other one for me, so I'll grab that one.
Bloop, bloop, bloop.
I am unfortunately in no need for Jasper
And
Tech at the
remember,
moment.
and remember what I told you guys as far as things you possess, because again, this has come up recent. This has come up before. Enchants you possess are what the party possesses. So
the party.
this could be any enchant that you guys have as a team.
That's
so-
really cool.
This could be the Blizzard enchant, for example.
It
Or
could be the Thunder
Fire
enchant.
which I need to mark off because you don't have that. You got here. It could technically not be the Thunder enchant because you guys don't have that. That is something Ramu has, but it is not the 4 of you. Remember,
Alright.
you guys are connected. All of you guys are connected through Michelle.
Michelle, you got any enchant?
Hey, Mitchell, wanna touch this rat so you can be part of it?
You could also use the Geo enchant, which adds resistance to all damage for 1 turn. Which is why, again, it's a very steep mana cost because it's like I'm gonna use anything.
Okay, I understand now what the point of this is. I see now. I understand.
That being
really
said-
good. That's so fucking good.
I mean, said Gilgamesh, what would you like? Would you like to also take the combine?
I mean, it's there, but also, what does roll burst do?
You want to see Roll Burst?
Yeah, what does that do again?
But still.
Roll Burst, by using 3 mana, any movement you take as a result of this card leaves behind a trail of elemental damage from a spell you possess. Any who touch this hazard takes 2d10 damage. And again, the spell you possess is any spell in the party.
Which, think about it like this. If there's a spell that doesn't do like a d10 of damage, for instance, if it does do a d8 or a d4, it does d10 with this.
Again, though, steep requirement of 3 mana.
Oh no, my 6 mana.
You can also check out any other thing. Would you like to look at any of the other things on your cards?
What's this? Like, why is this blocked out? What is that?
You have 2 extra hexer movement.
Oh. That's no wonder it's so small. I was wondering what this little small
It's really good, though.
That is really good, though. Wait. That's just 2 more movement.
It is just 2 more movement.
How much do I have right now? It's like 4, right?
Yep. This will give you 6.
I can get into murder range faster. But I could also leave behind the worst pain imaginable.
You could leave behind a trail of ice. or a trail of rocks.
Wait
or
a sec.
Trail of fucking water.
Or wind.
Or wind, or fire.
What? Wait. Would I can't unlock both, but would environment and burst on roll? Can I make a damage area that goes vertically?
Who knows?
It does say as a result of this card. Any movement.
I would say yeah then.
It's like a fighting game. I just put mines in the air, like the fucking worst characters in the roster.
A zoner.
Just deny aerials.
I would remind you for the burst, it does say as a result of this card. So it is only things you do with this card. So the flow of this card, or the motion of this card, or the environment of this card.
Right. Or maybe the blitz of this card, I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, no, probably not, because it would make me stop moving. But
so that only works for things in this card. This gives you just a flat 2 movement. What would you like?
Give me 2 more movement.
Alrighty.
We'll unlock first one day.
Well, whenever you were talking about unlocking the flow earlier, I'm like, "Are you sure?" And you're like, "I'll do another thing." I'm like, "Actually, you might like that though. You might really want that."
Hey, look, I got it. Hey, look, I have it now. Now I'm infinitely more dangerous. I am 2 hexes more dangerous.
All right. Everybody has their new things. By the way, anytime you guys use a card that says a thing you possess, just imagine you're doing like a little combo with somebody whenever that happens. So like when you're running, for example, with the burst there and you leave behind a trail of fucking air, just imagine for a second as you're running, Hibiki's just like, blah, and like sends like a jet of air after you to like push you forward or something.
Hell yeah.
Fucking
it just makes
magical.
things more cinematic. You guys have completed your 2nd day of training. You would find that Ragna is very proud of you. Your stances have become very good. Your magics have become neato. Would you guys like to do 1 more day of training, or would you guys like to stop here?
I love how we can just do a training montage.
You can, definitely. It is skipping days because you guys are putting all of your effort into it. But you guys can sit here and do this as much as you want.
I'm just sitting here and thinking.
It's been like 2 days.
Yep.
Maybe 3.
It's been 3 days since you left the manor.
Yep.
I will say if we do 3, it's gonna be fire enchant, but with our rolls.
Okay, all right. This is more importantly a question of how many days do we think we have before a man gets married and feeds his wife as her own dad?
That's fair, and I don't think a lot.
We also have to remember, she's also a chair, so if he wants to sacrifice her like he did with his other wives, he'll have to kill her first, then destroy her egg as well.
I think that I feel confident that these slightly upgraded cards of ours is enough.
We will
to stop everything that Fomal just said.
It's
just
when you put it so blunt, it's so great.
It's just because that's subjectively what this is.
Who's gonna marry her and feed her dad?
Yeah, it's
and then kill and eat her.
And then kill and eat her, so he double eats her dad.
Her dad will be there to walk her at the wedding inside her stomach.
Yeah, I think it's time we put the kibosh on this fuck. So
you guys also know that when
your mouth, time for the dad plane.
You guys also know that going to the manor itself, you guys aren't immediately planning on just fucking murdering the guy like the day you show up. You're also wanting to look for that glyph and things as well.
We are gonna have to
That's
set. We're gonna do some fucking Ocean's 13 setup or something. Considering our group composition, that is going to be the most difficult fucking part of this whole endeavor.
You guys wake up the next day. As you guys do, you are at this point feeling much better after all your training. You guys feel that we've moved. We had some movement. We have all these new abilities we think we can do. Man, if this is what this guy can do to us without a fucking dojo, what can he do with a dojo? Am I right? Anyway,
The light cannon ship might have to take a backseat, if only a slight one.
But as this point, do you guys want to make your way off toward where the manor is? Is there anybody you'd like to bring with you?
So,
before going, did Macho have a gun holster or anything of the sort in his shop?
You could have potentially asked him to make you something. That being said, how much money you got?
I have 1,950.
Da-da-da. He can make you a holster, like kind of a shitty holster, but a holster for like 500.
Sure.
Yeah, well that's good then.
what do you mean shitty?
It's like, it's just like a whatever. It's it's not made of anything really great. It's like some leftover leather that he had like just around. It's made from like an old ripped up saddle he found inside the barn.
How many times can he pull the gun before the holster disintegrates?
Also, I was doing dishes in the background. Muna is gonna bring Rosa.
You want to bring Rosa to the place?
Want is a strong word, but I have a feeling I need to.
I feel like if we're setting things up, then we should be around, but maybe not in yet, considering. But having Bowie up backup.
You do know that you are planning on having some people go in to attack with you, but until you know where that glyph is, they can't.
Right. We need.
The only people you know are invited in there are yourselves and Rosa.
Right.
Otherwise,
So-
you'll have to bring someone in and be like, "Oh, I have this person with me. Don't worry about them. They're fine."
Yeah.
But until they're
That's true.
invited, he will know basically where they are at all times.
Right. All right, let's try and find this fucking glyph.
All right. Is that everything? Nobody else has anything they want to do?
Not yet.
Okay.
We still need more. We need more information before we can build a fucking assault force.
You grab the Ramu.
Of course, Rami was invited everywhere, and anyone says that she is, and she will fucking kill them.
Yeah.
You guys-
Rival simply belongs here.
You guys get Rosa together. She is perfectly fine going back to their home. They're like, "Oh yeah, let's fucking go." As you guys get in the truck and make your way off and away toward there, it is a easy enough trek. As you get there, there is a tiny bit of a wait on the archway to them, outside of the city. They call them. They do respond back as you are allowed to make your way there at any point. That has been told to them. Especially once they see Rosa is with you, they're like, "Oh yeah, this fucking way." As you guys are led inside, you do find sitting outside of the gates for a moment. You are brought in by Mark. As Mark would see you, he would make his way toward you. Like, "Oh, well, how are all of you? It is good to see you, and it's good to see you, Miss Rosa, as well. Please, come in.
Of course. It's good to see you again, Mark. Flamio.
Oh yes, it's Flamio to you as well."
I forgot he was like this.
Good tomorrow to you, sir.
Yes, it is a good morrow to you, as they say. But come on in. We have many things to talk about. So I will say, the master of the house is not here at the moment.
Oh, is he busy?
Yes, he is off in the upper city for some business today. But I finally got into the voice again. He is up
That's
in the
good, Mark. That's good.
he is up in the upper city today, but he has said that if any of you make your way here, you are perfectly fine to keep yourself at home, and if you do stay for dinner, he will be back.
I
Oh, it's good to know.
Did he bring anyone with him to the upper city?
I do not believe so. He has his own business to do up there, much selling and talking and having all the business talks. You understand? The only people who are with him are his guard. So they are definitely off with him. But there are plenty of guards here. Do not worry, even the slightest, Miss Muna.
Oh, thank goodness. In that case, I think we'll make ourselves feel at home while we wait.
Of course, allow me to show you to the sitting room. Of course, come on in.
Let us go.
You guys would each make your way out from the truck. Upon stepping out and through, you are finding yourselves in the main sector of the house. Once again, it does not seem that Duke Cock is here. Apparently, he is off in the upper city doing whatever he's doing, which also means that Keith, Shelby, and Paul are not here. They're his guard. They're off with him. Wherever it is he may be at any time.
His honor guard, Lord Cock and Ball torture.
Lord Cock and Ball.
At this point, you'll also see that there's not a lot of guests about. Most likely because he is not here. As he would show you guys over to the sitting room, he shows you into the nice bare carpet that is here, the nice armchairs that are all about. Rosa just sort of like walks in and just like looking around like but he does turn around like, Miss Rosa, is there anything I can do for you? I can get you anything. We were all so worried for you. Is there nothing I can do? It's like, no, don't worry too much about it. I will just be keeping our guest company. All right then, I will inform any who need to know of the situation. I will be out in the main hall if anyone needs me.
Thank you very much,
Thank you,
Mark.
Mark. If anything we need, we'll make sure to let you know.
I will send drinks in just a little bit. In just a little while, we'll have a nice pitcher of wine or lemonade or whatever it is you wish. You want ale? I can get you ale.
The lemonade
we're
sounds
gonna get a good
fantastic.
selection of drinks, I believe. It's just so we're gonna have a good amount.
A good selection of drinks. I will get you the wine, the ale, the lemonade, and I will get you the Diet Coca-Cola. It will be
Absolutely,
fine.
Mark. Have a good one. What a good man.
I prefer Diet Pepsi.
That makes sense.
Fucking
I mean, she's right, but
And these three have no idea what the fuck that will ever mean.
I know Pepsi, but not Diet. It didn't exist.
Oh, so we're in this room then, huh?
Yep, you're in the sitting room. For some reason, the stuff went off. There we go. As you guys look about the room, you find that you're in a very cozy area full of
There we go.
hunting trophies and whatnot. There is already snacks upon the table off to the side, and there are 3 large armchairs that look very comfortable and inviting.
Oh, what a good little snack.
You make your way over. There is some cheese and crackers and all kinds of neat little things over on the sides there. You can see that there are many little finger foods and little tiny sandwiches and whatnot. These were all brought here before you guys were here, so like they seem to keep this room very stocked, even if there's no one around.
Strange. Oh.
Hey, Rosa. Do you think you could show me a room?
Oh, but none of you have sat down. Is there anything wrong?
Oh no, I'm feeling a little restless after the training yesterday.
What room would you like to see?
Yours.
Oh, of course. Allow me.
Should I bring a guard with me?
If you guys would like to make your way anywhere, you guys are decently sure you guys are safe in this place. You don't have to. You're decently sure nobody will kill you if you split up.
Chico, don't think I don't remember what this door's supposed to be opened with.
What do you mean?
You know what? I was going to ask Sorrel to join me, but I think Sorrel deserves some Gouda
This cheese is really good. Oh.
Yeah. Let Sorrel eat cheese.
What
Make it a hash.
do you need to open this door, my dude?
What do you need?
Dragon's blood.
What?
What?
Specifically, it is not dragon's blood you need. It is a certain blood that needs to open the door.
What other blood could there possibly be needed with?
You guys are decently sure. You guys are decently sure if you want to open that door, you'll need Rosa to open it.
Yeah.
We can start. Rosa, can you stand over that door specifically and just ask no questions?
So, Dico,
What's up?
when it came to lighting in this house, does it seem like are these sconces candles, like candlelit?
What sconces?
These?
When you say
Like-
these, okay, there, yeah. Those
these,
aren't
like-
even sconces. Those are lights. Those are light bulbs.
Those are light bulbs. So, hey, as I'm looking around, are there any like security cameras inside the building?
None that you have seen from just walking through. As you make your way into this room and are looking around, you can give me a roll real quick. Go ahead and roll me for your insight, please.
It's always fucking insight every
You
time.
got it.
As the Mies here just go, no one's watching you, Hibiki.
You're decently sure you haven't seen any cameras.
Take off your clothes, Hibiki.
I remember this Cinderella story.
You too, Gilgamesh.
I'll fucking destroy them.
But no, if you wanted to ask Rose to open that door, she goes, "Oh, I already told you what's down there."
Hmm.
I would feel really awkward about bringing you in there without me.
Well, I guess we can tour that area
let's-
first.
No, let's examine everywhere above ground first.
Oh, so we're looking at everything over the top.
Oh, you should try this cheese, Zarel. I know
Oh,
the
what
others
cheese?
look the same quality, but try this.
Like,
That
alright,
was
I'll eat this cheese, but we're going up there. Or should one of us stay behind for Mark here? It'd be weird if he was just having to walk halfway across the house again for us.
I can stay.
Alrighty, Vicky.
You're pretty sure you don't
Try
need
the
to
cheese,
stay.
it's
Mark,
really good.
Mark said he was gonna get someone to bring you guys things. He didn't say he was gonna bring you guys things.
Ah, okay then.
Okay, fuck them kids.
He said he was gonna go talk to. He said he was gonna go tell people who might need to know that you guys are here. So he is gone. He has made his way away.
If it was my boy Mark, I'd be like, I would never make him want to run halfway across the entire mansion again. I don't know these other weird faceless guards. I don't care. Let's go.
If you guys are leaving this area, do you guys want to stay together or do you guys want to separate? I will make note. There's only around 20 minutes left in game.
Gotcha.
So there's only so many things we can get to if we do split up. But if you want to go and check out some places together, now would be the best time to do that because we can actually get through some of those.
Let's
Okay,
do
Hibiki,
that.
why don't you look at the kitchen? A wink.
No, I'm not separating from y'all just yet.
We're not gonna get into that fucking treasury yet. I mean, how are we gonna get it out?
I can fly up there to open the door.
Well, yeah, but how are you
that's
gonna
why
get
I was
all of it out?
thinking
I can lift it out with more magic.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Well, okay, look here.
Remember, the
Gil-
door is the room is supposed to be very large and full of treasure.
Okay, out of all of us, if we look at Gilgamesh, no pockets, no sleeves, can't carry shit. Zarel, yeah, they have little baggies that they could, but that's for the cheese.
I'm gonna put all these coins in my pockets.
Muna only has cleavage, which can hold a lot, but not enough. Hibiki has pockets here, pockets in their jeans, pockets in their fucking, Probably their t-shirt too, somehow.
Do you guys want to just start putting everything in your
No.
pockets?
No,
That's
no.
just
I'm
Will
gonna
being Will.
I'm gonna put some cheese in my pockets. Actually, this is actually really good cheese.
Okay, so you're gonna just stuff it full of food. Okay, that's fine. Let's.
Pocket cheese.
Continue on.
Let's go with the
Don't
original
forget-
plan.
There might be skeletons.
Yeah.
Get the pocket ham too.
Let's
would
go
you-
with your.
Where would you guys like to go?
Well, I'm going to Rose's room. Anyone else want to join?
Yes.
Let's see where the guard armor and short.
Hibiki doesn't want to go, Rose. He'll just.
I said yes.
He doesn't want to go.
I will choke slam you.
Rosa would take you guys over toward the staircase to get you guys to go further up into the next area. As you guys are in the staircase room, I would like you guys to please roll me for your instinct.
I wish they
Insight.
invented something
Insight,
else.
my bad, insight.
I wish they
love
invented
to roll
something
a
to go
mindful-
upstairs for us.
Makes me
Like a huge
feel
box. 14 plus. What was it?
Insight.
Don't worry about me.
Plus 4, so that's 18 altogether.
What'd you get,
And
Gil?
what? He got a pondering.
Are you rolling, Gilgamesh?
Oh, did not.
He's cooking. He's cooking.
Sorry, I thought I. Never mind.
That's fine, that's fine.
Wee.
Okay, so Muna got an 18. I believe that
Cool.
Hibiki, you got a 9 plus your
Yeah.
nothing.
My nothing,
We're not going
yeah.
to even think about Zarel.
Yeah. Thumbs up.
As Muna, you make your way into this room, going up the stairs with everyone, you do notice that there are a nice amount of sconces and things along this place. You do note that each of them, while they seem to depict a fire on the top of them, they're just light bulbs. You can tell that this is not natural fire. There's some kind of light inside of what these flames are kind of showing themselves to be.
Starts glaring at them. Oh, my eyes!
The one thing you will take note of, however, in this room is there is an odd number of them. As you make your way up and through, they seem to be placed on each different section of this area, as if to light up every section that there possibly can be. And as you see them, there are about 7 of them. As
Oh,
you
odd
would see
because
them,
symmetry.
yeah, you would see that there are this, but there's also one right there.
One at the bottom of the stairs.
Yep. That being said, do you want to keep going up?
Yes.
All of you guys would make your way into the second floor.
Ah!
We pick people up so that they don't move off into the ether.
What's the hotkey for putting everything under?
I just pick them up.
Well, yes, but if you learn the hotkey, then it'll put everything under.
If I learn the hotkey, then I'm gonna accidentally press a different hotkey, and then it's gonna be bad.
You're gonna accidentally press the life points hotkey.
Yeah, exactly.
This isn't Yu-Gi-Oh, you faker!
It's the exact same thing here. There's a couple of sconces at the top, but mostly there are some little storage barrels. As you guys step out from the area where you're at, you guys know the section beside of you here is a certain person's room. At least from what you guys think at the very least. Going and continuing in this direction, Rosa seems to lead you around and down toward over here. I believe this is a section you guys haven't seen. I don't think it's an actual. No, it's a room. Is it a room? It shouldn't be a room. No, yeah, it's just a little table. Look at that table. It's very nice.
Table!
Table.
Table!
You guys get brought over and around until you go to the very end room at this place. As you guys get here, you will take note that there is a person here.
Is
You
it
will
me?
find that there is a person just outside the balcony.
Oh.
Does Rosa react?
As Rosa would get around here, she would look off and see them over there, at which point they would not react much. They would then just go to open the door.
Then Muna's just gonna wave and get in the door.
They seem to be looking off toward these flowers that are on their balcony, but they don't seem to really be noticing any of you. As Muna would step in, you guys would find that the room is in an equal amount of disrepair as you see here.
This is about the same.
Oh
There has
my.
been nobody who actually clean up this area since things have gone down. There is a lot
Including
of
since the recap.
there's a lot of destruction that is about in this place, and it does look as if the bed has been slept in, but it is not made or even really that great. One of the sides of it is sagging down from the impact of some kind of creature hitting it or destroying part of it. This bed is bad. The food's fine.
Oh, the food's fine. Yeah!
What the fuck? Why is the food fine?
Because she has to eat.
Muna's going to start setting the bed.
You make your way over to the bed and start trying to make it. Rosa just like looking around. It doesn't seem like she's gotten any sort of inkling to clean around, has she?
Well, not her, but if they're bringing in food, then why aren't they cleaning it up?
As Muna's thinking about this, she does stop.
Perhaps it's hard to find carpenters with everybody dead.
No, perhaps for sentimental reasons, and I shouldn't have just done this without permission. Starts trying to put things back where they were.
I mean, at least you could get rid of the rubble in the room.
Also, Zarel, as you look down at the things that are here, you do see that there is a small salad here, which is definitely not breakfast food. It's around midday for you guys now, but this is obviously food that they have eaten within the past half an hour or so. There's like a small salad. There is a bowl of some kind of noodly soup, and there is some assorted little strips of meat that seem to have barely been eaten on the sides. It looks as if you look inside the soup that they have taken parts of the meats and put them in the soup.
Not much of an appetite if it's still full like this.
Yeah, there's a lot of food that has gone basically. I mean, it's been eaten, definitely.
Aw, that's not very good. She usually has a very healthy appetite.
Oh, is she not feeling very hungry recently?
I don't know. I haven't been here.
Maybe we should talk to her.
Oh, we shouldn't interrupt her right now.
Oh?
Yeah, she's inhaling the scents of the flowers.
Is that what you call it here?
How do I put it? Whenever she first came to us, she planted a lot of flowers that she had with her. There were a lot of seeds that she seemed to have had inside of a small satchel, and whenever she wishes to calm down, she usually made her way over and smelled them. And that's something that she's been doing ever since I've known her.
Oh.
Which is, she's still doing it now, even though apparently she changed a lot.
Well, good to know she has some rituals. Is that why you didn't want to interrupt her?
I will go and give her a big hug whenever she is away from it. It doesn't usually
Good.
take very long.
5 hours later.
Not very long at all. I'm kidding.
Fucking.
I do.
I'm sorry the room is such a mess.
No. I do want to clean it, but if it wants to be cleaned, you have the people to do it.
She looks over towards you, Gilgamesh, since you're over by that door over there. Oh, that is Suzu's room. Well, her storage area, at least. That's where she keeps all of the weapons and armors that she likes.
As soon as you said weapons.
I'm going to enter this room now.
Oh, all right.
He just goes in.
You make your way inside. As you do, you find that there are quite a lot of metal on metal all about this area. The armors themselves seem like they are rather collected, though all of them are of various sizes that you're pretty sure that somebody that like Suzu would not be able to wear. They are way too large, or some of them way too small. As far as the weapons in here are concerned, although you can see weapons in the actual thing here, a lot of them just seem to be splinters and rusted weapons all throughout the area. You note that especially on the racks on the edge here, there seem to be a lot of weapons that seem to have rust or even specks of blood throughout them. The only thing in this room that seems to be even somewhat pristine, there appears to be an armor off to the edge of the room, back where the door would usually open to cover it. The armor seems to be holding a spear, and the spear also seems pristine.
How fresh is the blood on these?
Because of the fact that they are rusted, not very fresh at all. However, looking at them, you can tell that they are weapons that seem to have gotten a lot of use, and most likely at some point were taken care of. It just seems they've fallen into disrepair very quickly. But this is obviously something that would have happened far before now, far before the Heartless or anything like that would have shown. Also, Heartless don't bleed.
Yeah.
It's
I know.
yeah.
Hibiki, are you doing anything?
I'm just sitting here thinking
Just vibing?
really, really hard, vibing.
Cooking, as they say.
I'm cooking.
I am currently looking at this little scene of the wreckage.
Mhm.
Is there anything that may have gotten stuck under the floorboards or something? Or they cleaned that up?
Looking about the area, as you go to look under some of the floorboards and things, there does appear to have been some kind of a table or some kind of a shelf that was on this area, but it does seem to have mostly been buried. You can look out into the actual just the layout of the house. You could leave from here if you wanted to follow the floor. Looking out in the area, looking underneath all of the stone and rocks. Why don't you roll me for a?
Let's go, baby. Here we go again.
Let's go for a experience.
A needle, a middle roll. You know what? We'll put these in here. Why not? E. Come on, old cherished brain. There has to be something in that nugget of yours that can cook. No.
Interesting.
Hey, do we have any of those funny daily the inspirations?
You guys already.
It has been a couple days.
Oh, those? No. Why would I give you those?
I mean, it's.
You have 4. But you can't use them after you roll, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's already been used.
As you look underneath, you do find that there are some trinkets and whatnot under there, including some things that you're decently sure are just kind of some items that would be common in a cherished household, but nothing catches your eye.
Well, since this place is pretty cleared out in this area.
Muna and
Okay,
Hibiki,
it
you
was
guys
a
anything?
normal change of music, alright? It wasn't the weird change of music.
Nah, sorry. I was seeing that it was very whimsical, and I'm like, we're not doing whimsy shit.
I guess Hibiki will come over and check with Zarel, see if there's anything he can note about this rebel.
I will increase the DC because this has already been looked at before. However, I will allow you to roll an experience.
He did it.
I feel like a search roll ever done by Sorrel should not increase this.
I mean, come on,
this is mostly a thing that I have to stop people from going like, oh, that person failed, I'm gonna go for it. You know?
I'm just saying, this is the one time where it's like, I feel like
I mean, it's Sorrel though.
The one that
Come
has
on
to roll, it should be fine.
Yeah, another nat 1.
I'm glad I pulled over this heart thing.
Did you roll there in that one for real?
I did, but this is a 16.
What's the world's most important?
Yeah, 19.
You find as you look over the area, as again, you do find some common items, some common things. You find that something that Zarel seems to have overlooked, because Zarel, this would be just something common any household would have. Hibiki, you find what appears to be something akin to a small pocket mirror. As you go to it and look at it, Zarel, you would look over to it and just be like, "Oh yeah, that's a viewing glass."
Yeah, it's like, oh, you seem to have found a viewing glass, Hibiki.
It's a pocket mirror. What do you mean? What's a viewing glass? What?
A viewing glass, Zarel, you would know in your little cherished heart, your little cherished brain, would be what people would have in their homes, at least in some kind of not more wealthy homes, more well-off homes, like medium and above kind of homes. This is where emergency broadcasts would become to people. Emergency things from the kingdom or from other places of note in the cities of Cherish.
Yeah. See, it's that kind of viewing glass. EVK. It's very funny that the emergency glass was buried underneath the rubble after an emergency, but
this isn't something of just like, oh, I'm gonna call someone as it's an emergency, but it's like more like, oh, a severe storm is coming, or someone's been assassinated.
Could you imagine getting a severe storm warning and then having your house wiped by a tornado seconds after?
Other than that, sometimes people can see just like random things coming out of it. Maybe you can use it to talk to people if you have like other things with it, but not this one. This one seems very common. As well, it can also just be used as a pocket mirror.
Interesting. He will go over and, I guess, hand it back over to Rosa.
He will steal it. I'm playing.
I thought about it, but here you go.
You bring it to Rosa. She goes, "Oh, thank you. Oh, that would have been rather odd."
Odd.
Sorry. I guess it's weird to have one of these up here out of everywhere, huh? My brother doesn't allow any of these on the first floor.
On the first floor? What for?
I don't know.
Okay. All right.
So when you say that it like notes like warnings and stuff like that, like
it's usually people calling from other parts of the city, a warning of any kind of like natural event, earthquakes, things of that nature, any kind of big events going down, things like that. It is not like something that usually detects anything, which is weird.
That's weird that he says that you shouldn't have those on the first floor. It's
not just this. We're not allowed to have any mirrors on the first floor.
That's just
mirrors. Specifically mirrors, not that it's a viewing glass thing.
Yes, we don't have any mirrors on the first floor.
So you're not allowed to see your cute face every day?
I might need to borrow that.
Sure, here you go.
Thank you.
And I of course get to see my cute face every day. I have a viewing glass.
You found the loophole.
Gilgamesh, obviously you can hear everything that's going on. The door over here is not like blocking all sound or anything. But again, you're not really gaining anything from the bloodied weapons right now.
Cute face, my ass. The cutest face here is this armor.
Gilgamesh,
I love you, armor.
You make your way to the armor. Again, the only thing out of this entire place that seems pristine. As you do, roll me for your instinct. Or insight, my bad. Insight.
What's the difference for this one?
It's nothing. It's the same. It's just the eye stat.
15. The eye, the singular.
I always, if you look at the stats, anytime I make a stat spread for any game, I don't like using the same first letter for anything. So that's why there's strength and magic and stuff like that. So that's why it is the eye stat, is the insight. You got a how much?
15 total.
You notice a slight shift in the armor as you approach.
The armor moved, huh?
Very slightly. You would not even. You would feel like anybody looking at it probably wouldn't have even noticed. But you are so great and powerful and wonderful. So
it's true. I look. He looks toward the spear as if he didn't notice the shift at all. And then he just goes and takes the fucking helmet off the armor.
You go to take the helmet off. There is nothing underneath.
Tap tap on the chest piece.
You tap the chess piece. You hear nothing but echoes from the inside.
He'll fucking take the chest. He'll start taking the armor off the stand. He's not giving a fuck.
You try to take the armor off the stand, but there is no stand.
He just looks at the helmet and just picks it back up and just
I'm sorry,
lifts the
sir.
he just lifts the visor.
You look at the visor.
Just lift.
Roll me just a d20.
Okay. It's like, huh. He just lifts visor up. 8.
That is a 10 altogether then.
Cool.
As you look over to it, you bring the helmet in there. As he looks into it, you do hear that there is some kind of a pressure kind of sound, some kind of a kind of thing, almost like a air being let out of a tire kind of sound for a moment before. What is it?
Who asked that?
Who do you think?
No, I'm asking you, Deke.
The sound seems to be coming from the helmet.
Are you sentient armor?
Congratulations, you figured it out.
As streamers come out of the armor.
He just closes the visor.
Can you give me my head back, please?
I have no use for it, so puts back on.
Good.
Do you have a name?
The helmet does not move anything. You kind of stand there for a second. You're not going to leave, are you?
No. The thing is, he looks kind of unimpressed.
They just kind of sit there for a moment. You say you're not going to leave. You do find that there is just like a bunch of waiting for a second until finally there's another sound as if air being let out of a tire again. No, I do not.
Do you know of the gigantic beast that destroyed the other room?
I do not know, and I do not care.
Are not guard armors meant to protect an area?
This is not my home. I do not protect this place.
Where is your home?
My home has been destroyed, apparently, from what I have learned and gathered from being here.
In this one room?
This is a new home, apparently, that I have been brought to. I would have already left if not for the fact that I do not wish to alert those around of my presence. But it seems as if you can hear me.
Of course. How is that surprising?
Because no one else has been able to so far.
No one else seems to know how to listen.
That is true, though I do think that is different than what is actually going on. I believe it is because we are similar.
Is this your natural state of being? Have you always been sentient armor?
Yes.
My brother once experimented with such creations. They were usually unsuccessful. Your home was a different world then.
Yes. I believe so.
With that, our similarity lies.
I hail from a world that seems to be both more primitive than this one, yet more advanced in certain ways, such as magic.
For this, we are also in agreement.
I had assumed. I believe that is why you're able to hear me. You are of a higher magical being, such as I.
Yes, finally, some acknowledgement.
I would not get too comfortable with that idea. Almost anyone from my world would most likely be able to hear me if I tried to speak to them. So you would be common.
I have the proof to prove you wrong, but for now, I'll let that slide.
Hmm.
At any rate,
Tell me, why do you have that? That symbol upon your garments.
I really acquired this from one of the human merchant stalls, they were called.
I see.
It was either that or walking around without clothing, which apparently was unacceptable to humans.
It would have been odd, yes. But that
You
is coming from a
recognize-
thing that is only clothing, as it were.
Wait, you recognize the symbol?
The symbol upon your garment. Yes, it seems very similar to one I know.
The land you come from. What was it called?
Roll me for negotiation.
Yeah, sure.
Go, King, go. Go, King, go.
Go, King, go! You can do it, King!
There are 3 dailies left if you'd like to use one.
Please, it's a -3.
Here you go, you can have one. If you want 2 of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll allow that.
That was a 0. Fuck off.
-2, let's go!
Nice. -2, baby.
Let's
go.
fucking go!
Oh, there we go.
15. Yeah. That's way better, thank you. I live and die by benevolence.
I hail from a land I believe known as Fiore.
That's a familiar name.
Yeah, it is.
I know, Gilgamesh knows that. So you were right. Mortals called it something different. But that is my home. Ugh. Terrible name.
I see.
In some strange way, it feels good to meet another person from there.
Does it? For what reason?
Something familiar in an alien world full of alien ideas and alien creatures.
Well, I'm glad that I was able to give you some comfort. You don't have to be here anymore.
Why do you stay?
You truly will not leave, will you?
No. Once my curiosity is piqued, it demands satisfaction.
This world is lesser in certain ways. Again, I've seen many things here that are fascinating, that are very different. Especially in this room, every now and then that woman brings in very strange weaponry, or even weaponry that is very difficult to assume how things even got to the point they did. Techniques, armors, different things that are, quite honestly, marvels. However, my world was full of magic. Full to the brim. To the point of it leaking over, to the point of it giving magic to those that had none. Every being in my world, in our world, was full of it.
I miss it.
Unfortunately, this world does not have enough in the air. I am not able to move.
And I have little access to my magical power as well.
It is both freeing in a sense, but also suffocating for the moment. I believe if I were at least able to move, I might actually feel like it is easier to breathe. even. But I can't say that I prefer this world as long as I can't move a muscle. That's a joke. I don't have any muscles.
It was quite fun.
Thank you. You obviously have a great sense of humor.
I've been told this, yes.
They both say completely deadpan.
That's the gem.
Snark versus Snark to the point they're gonna fucking make out. Holy shit.
It's like that Starbucks video all over again.
If there were to be some way to infuse you with enough magic to move, would you be persuaded to?
I can't say I much like this place. There are interesting people here, but there are also very detestable things that I feel here. Everything in these walls I'm able to feel, I'm able to sense, and I do not much like what is happening in the basement of this place.
You know of the atrocities that take place in this.
Whenever you are a being such as me, or I guess us, in a sense, you can sense whenever there is magic going on about. It is almost something where I can feel it. There's a time whenever sometimes I feel like I can move a finger or even a leg. But mostly it's just twitches, like we had seen before. However, when they do their little experiments or whatever it is they're doing in the basement, sometimes I feel like I might be able to move. I've been trying to hoard as much of that energy as I can. If I were to try to move now, I could maybe get to the edge of this place. So yes, given enough energy, I believe I could move. But I would not want to waste the energy I have gathered so far. My lacrima is not full.
I found a distressingly small amount of lacrima in this world so far, and what I have found has been depleted of magic.
It does not surprise me. This world is so empty of it that even though it does feel rather nice, it feels as if anything with magic would be soaked out of it in an instant. I believe that even if we were to use one of our more powerful items from our world, the number of uses one could do here would be drastically depleted.
I have a question, Diko.
Yeah, what's up, buddy?
Can I infuse magic in? I can infuse magic into things, right? I can enchant.
You have an amount of magic, and if you would like to try to enchant something, that is kind of infusing magic into things. In a sense, you are using and spending that magic to do certain effects. However, if you would like to roll me for your magic, you could instead use your enchant without trying to waste it. Maybe try to use the enchant on the lacrima itself that maybe is inside this thing. Because you know yourself that lacrima is something that is made to store magic.
Yes.
If you could find the lacrima in this thing, then I would say you could probably do something about it.
Well, if I need to know where it is, I think I should ask first, so I don't blow up an arm. Where is your lacrima located, then, Armor?
It is, I believe... Oh, hold on, let me get my echo. It is, I believe, somewhere located in the spine of this suit. This is not my only suit that I have ever had, though this one is one of my favorites. You should find it on my inner spine.
We will go and look and do so.
You take the helmet off again and you just hear, I hate it when this happens.
It will be just for a moment.
Yes, yes. As you look down into the armor, you do find there appears to be a line of gems making up almost a inner spine for this thing. Think looking at like a empty turtle shell and how that is kind of like stitched in where the spine usually, because the turtle shell is bone. Don't do that to turtles. Anyway,
Don't hurt them.
you find that there is something similar to like the inside of a turtle shell inside of this armor on the back, and in the very center of it, you do find what appears to be a large purple jewel.
Purple, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Purple. I'm going to attempt to infuse magic again.
Interesting. The
I wanna
last one
use
that looked inside of here tried to polish it, and then the one that they showed after tried to take it, though they had no means of doing so.
The lacrima is purple. What magic is this?
The magic inside of this armor, I cannot remember. Though if I were to take a guess at its purple tone, poison, gravity, something of the such. Hell, I've seen fire that is purple. Our world
I'm aware of that.
Our world
Yes.
has many magics. I don't think that we could very well narrow it down by color, unfortunately.
I am aware. I was just holding out hope, but
If you use the kind of magic on me that the lacrima can absorb, it will be much better. However, if you use any sort of magic, I should be able to take something from it.
I'm more saturated, and I could use my natural magic. But for now, he's gonna use the ring and try and dump some mana into this thing.
Roll me for your magic. You guys, by the way, hear Gilgamesh talking to himself over there?
Just talking to himself. We don't even hear the other voice.
Nope, you do not hear the other voice. Muna hears the other voice.
As Muna, it's like, oh, those two, they're a riot. And hearing the snark off earlier.
So,
It's just been Gilgamesh talking to himself for like a half an hour.
I hate to ask it, but
You
Want
want
to use the last
I am
one?
once again asking.
Use the last one.
I am
Use
once
it.
again asking for your fleetings.
I'm once again asking for aid. Yeah, I need. That was a
Gondor
10.
calls for aid.
Gondor, help. 18.
With an 18, you do find that you enchant this this thing. For a moment, you do also see a shimmer go over the entire armor, as if the spell you used seems to have been absorbed rather well by the armor. Give me a moment. I'm going to give this a temporary, yet much less temporary than if you used it on yourself. For the rest of the next, you got an 18?
Yeah.
We'll say until sundown, then they will have resistance to all damage.
Oh, damn.
They are very
I'm
good
the
for
best.
enchanting.
Resistant armor.
They are very
I'm
good
so-
for enchanting things.
I am a badass.
As you find this, they do seem to, for a moment, take a bit of a second to feel themselves about. Huh. You truly are from my world.
Of course. I
The
said so.
spell, the spell was not one that I recognized, but the power I do. Interesting.
You may not recognize me by name or face, but I was once known pretty well. He puts the helmet back on.
Well then. I find that I would most likely be better keeping myself in a relative distance of you. That being said, the people of this place are still very weary of me allowing myself to walk. If you are to somehow liberate me from this place, if it is to your agreeance, I would like to follow you.
We can find this acceptable. Liberation of this place was our goal all along, anyway.
Do not take it as anything of a like. You are just the best option for me.
I thought nothing less of the reason you asked. I am always the best option.
Then I will wait here until you have need of me. If you do go to liberate this place, give some sort of signal to me, and I will attempt to aid you.
The signal might be the thrashing sounds of that giant monster in the basement dying.
Oh, the one that made its way into the other room.
It's called a heart lease, and we seek to end it.
It was a rather impressive suit of armor until it was exploded.
It can be as impressive as it wants. It will still die.
It could have used some of our ways of doing things. If it was given some kind of a connection or a lacrima skeleton like me, then perhaps it would have been able to keep itself together.
Inferior creatures from inferior worlds.
Let us hope that our thoughts of this don't blind us to things about us, but I cannot help but agree with you. I will be here. And who can I say I'm speaking to?
Gilgamesh.
Well, Gilgamesh, as I mentioned to you before, I have no name. So just call out if you have need of me. And try not to die in here.
To think I'd die here of all places.
You would not be the first. I have felt many deaths since coming here.
And that is something that will be put to an end. I will consider a name for you.
I did not ask for one, but if you find it easier, then perhaps.
It was less for my ease of my own, but the ease of others around me. Everyone loves naming things. Yes.
All right, then. I will have to approve it. I will not accept anything dull.
Of course not. I would never pick something dull.
Then be on your way. Most things here inside of your hands would not do. If you would like to try to use one of those rusted weapons over there, they would have once been something that I would have recommended someone grab, but these past few years, that woman has not kept up with any of them. It has been rather sad. If I did not want to charge my lacrima, then I would have gone to take care of them myself.
It is a shame. Perhaps one day they can be brought to some form of luster.
Perhaps.
Until such a day, though, I had no interest in these weapons for use in combat. We will make do. Now, the others are waiting. We will meet again, Oliver.
I will see you then.
As he just goes.
You look in there, Ramu's just like looking at you with like a turned head, like, ah. The fuck are you doing? What are you talking?
Just close the door behind him.
I'm glad that you got a reunion. Well, not reunion, but got something nice.
Yeah, Ramona says you had a reunion. Was there? I'm assuming it's a thing that she heard and you heard and we didn't.
He just stood there talking in an armor for like half an hour doing nothing.
No. But was it fun?
It is a long story. But it is unimportant at the moment. Have you found anything of use in here?
An interesting pocket mirror where mirrors are forbidden on the first floor. Gives you some ideas as to why.
Why? I only was half listening.
Mirrors are banned on the first floor, Gilgamesh.
I would not wish to look at the Duke's face either if I were him.
That's probably a good reason why.
Let us bring it to the first floor and see what chaos has caused.
Personally, I learned that goat cheese, cranberries, and nuts are a good combination in a salad.
I love the fact
Good
that
for you.
Muna,
I've
I
done
love the
that
fact that
cheese
Muna
last a
probably
very
ate,
long time in a pocket.
Muna just ate
It's-
fucking Suzu salad. Hell yeah.
Why-
Curly.
Salad. Don't worry, I didn't touch
God, I jumped
anything
out.
else.
Right.
You guys want to make your way out of Rosa's room?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
As you guys make your way out, going off into the next area, I would say this would be a good place for us to end things off.
But we're
you
going for
guys-
3 more hours.
You guys having spoken to some kind of armor, some kind of living armor inside this place that apparently came from the same world that Gilgamesh came from. As well, you guys having found some kind of a pocket mirror that also doubles as a emergency broadcast kind of beacon thing, kind of neat. As you guys step out, you would notice that Suzu still seems to be looking over their flowers and over everything. This is the most expressive you think you've seen them, by the way. Out of everything, usually they're just kind of walking very stiffly, but you do note that they seem to be staring down at their flowers as they're leaning over them, and every now and then just like looking to one and giving a sniff at them.
Oh, she's sniffing it.
Good for her.
As you guys make your way out of here, looking about more things here in this place, I believe we're going to end things off here. Huh.
I think it's a reasonable thing to think that he could probably, in like a short moment, hide it in his sleeves, right? The funny little pocket mirror.
You can put that in your pocket.
Yeah.
It is a pocket mirror.
It is a pocket mirror, yes. I meant as like short notice, just in case of a guard suddenly rounding a corner. Is all I meant.
You just like make it come out of your sleeve.
It lunges out. It snaps against the wall.
Look at your sin. Look at it.
Oh.
No, you could keep it hidden. It's just a little pocket mirror. You're fine.
Yeah.
As you guys go to continue your way through this place and check out more of the second / first / third / whichever floors you want to do, I think we will end things off here for the night. Thank you guys for hanging out with us for our first YouTube stream of Kingdom Hearts. We are going to end the recording here.
YouTubing.
Yeah, we're going to end the recording here. I'm still going to upload the recording to YouTube. I know that sounds very strange to do it that way, but it also allows for people to just see the things that are the game. Also, uploads get a lot more traffic than live videos after things are settled. So we're going to be doing it that way. I hope everybody had a good time. Until next time, guys, like always, later days.
Bye-bye.
Mwah.